classic
Yeah,
oldest one is your favorite one.
obviously. It's got to be that way.
All right, we are live. All right,
All right, but
hey everyone. Apologies for the very, very slight delay. We all know who's to blame, but we don't have to go there.
mm, okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. What is up, guys? Hope you guys are having a good Sunday and a good Mother's Day. Hope you guys were able to get some good gifts for your moms. I know they need the respect, the appreciation. Appreciate y'all coming through today.
Yeah, we got a good
Uh,
one. Got a good one today. Got some blue lock today. No black clover, unfortunately. I don't know. Tabata's been on like a hiatus, I guess, or on vacation. Either one. Horikoshi
God.
dropped an 11-page banger.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And arguably, one of the most controversial JJK chapters in a minute. Although, is it though? Really?
Gege's been dropping a lot of controversial
Controversial, yeah.
chapters lately. So
I'm starting to
it's kind
notice
of
a
hard to
pattern,
kind of
yeah.
listen. Yeah.
And I don't think the problem's with Gege. But yeah, we can get into that later in the
Um,
episode. Um,
Okay, for sure, for sure.
so off rip, let's start off with My Hero Academia.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah. So My Hero had
11
dropped
pages,
a pretty
dude.
good. Hey, listen, bro. Mario dropped a pretty good chapter today. I think it was a pretty sad one. Obviously, no confirmed deaths or anything, but I think having everybody show up while Endeavor and Dobby are burning up was kind of interesting. I don't know. I don't know if I was expecting Endeavor to recreate what he did versus the Nomu and just shoot him up into the atmosphere and burn up. I know that was his intention, but he may not have the power left to do it. I like this chapter though.
Hmm.
I mean, when it comes to the Todoroki family, I think Horikoshi always cooks something. And I do feel like this is a pretty good chapter that is punctuated by like a really nice kind of like bittersweet end panel with a potential like Dobby who never went down the villain path or who never like ended up burning himself up in that forest.
I like the
Seeing
idea that his costume is still that edgy in the
yeah
reality where he's also a hero. So it just means that's like
yeah
who he is, which is funny.
yeah he would just think that type of stuff is cool.
Mhm.
But yeah, I thought it was a nice chapter. It was very short, and I honestly didn't notice it was that short until you mentioned the page count. But I mean, I feel like it was. I mean, regardless of that, it was pretty good.
Mhm.
I really liked it. I thought it was a very solid chapter.
Oh, Velvet. That's actually interesting. Davi's happiness is when Shoto isn't alive. That's crazy. I just noticed
I
that.
mean, yeah, like Todoroki was meant to replace him. You know what I mean? So like, I could see how for Dobby, having your literal replacement show up to the party is I I can see how that's not super fun. To be honest with you.
Yeah. I will say, Horikoshi had better just like kill Endeavor or stop teasing it because ooh, dude, it's like every single time a fight between any of the Todorokis happens, and it's like, all right, this is it. I'm getting out the tissue box. I'm preparing the eulogy, right? And then it's like a new move. Then you get this, and it's like rinse repeat a few times. I don't mind it, right? I think it hits like every time, but it is getting, it's starting to feel less and less somber and more really funny, which I don't think is the effect Horikoshi is going for. Um,
Yeah.
that being
Okay.
said, this particular time, I'm actually really happy with it. It did resonate just because Todoroki's mom got in the fray, using her ice powers. I was like, oh shit, this is so cool and adds like another layer to it. And the whole you're not without blame thing, I was like, okay, Horikoshi, you got me back in. You got me back in. Let's see if you deliver.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't had that like it's starting to get funny. Me personally, I don't see how, an entire family of tragedy burning up
Because it's
from,
happened
from
like
one's
5
character's
times.
self-destruction becomes funny. But that just may be Creams and how he's twisted up a little bit. But, I liked it. I liked it. Horikoshi, like I said, pun intended at this point, he always cooks when it comes to the Todoroki family. I feel like Dobby is he's at the end of his rope here. He's clearly been that way for a while, but I think with everyone being here and with that final panel, we can pretty safely say that I think Dobby's ending is coming very soon. Now who he takes with him is going to be it's definitely going to be up for debate, for people to question. Um, I would I would really like it if not everyone but Shoto dies. I'm gonna be real with you. I would like it for not everybody to just die. Um, but I mean, I don't know if Horikoshi's gonna do that. I don't know if Horikoshi's gonna do that.
I
I
mean,
really don't.
do you feel like Todoroki is going to join his family, or do you feel he's going to be the only survivor, or, and this is like a crazy one to throw out there, I don't think it's what Horikoshi's been setting up at all, but this one would actually be funny, right? Not even just Cream's funny, okay? It would be crazy if by the end of it, all of them are alive, but just have burn scars to kind of symbolize their shared effect or guilt with how Dabi turned out.
That's
Again,
definitely just Cream's funny, by the way.
really, I thought that was like
Yeah.
commonplace. Why is that not funny?
Why is it funny? This entire family is scarred by the the
Yeah,
failings
I mean,
of them in the past.
they're not
What a good
dead,
laugh.
dude. It would make
I don't
all
know,
of
bro.
Endeavor's
You're
like
strange.
reads.
Um,
Oh my god,
yeah, I'll
bro.
yeah, no.
Honestly, I
Mm-mm.
enjoyed the chapter. I thought it was fun. I give it like a solid 8. I think.
Yeah, it was a pretty good chapter. I'd probably give it like a 7.5.
How
I think
is
it was
my
good.
rating higher after everything we just said?
I have higher standards. So like I can think very highly of it, but not, it's I'm not giving everything an 8, you know what I mean?
Fine,
It was
damn,
a pretty good chapter.
7.5. I'll succumb to peer pressure. You think I won't?
Actually, mine is a 7 now. So, anyways,
Uh,
yeah, it was a pretty good chapter. I will say, I think Todoroki and Ida are on their way, right?
Somebody
And
better be.
if that's the case, I could see Todoroki saving his family. I could see something like that. That seems very within Horikoshi's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Um,
If there was ever a time for Todoroki to awaken his ice quirk, like in the same ways he did with the phosphorus attack, then I think this would be a great time.
yeah, it would be nice for him to to lock in, but yeah, I mean, I think he's probably gonna come in and save some of his family members. I don't. Endeavor might be a lost cause. The damage he's taken already, like even if he cools him down, he might just die from all the damage he's already sustained. To be completely honest with you,
Yeah.
but I do think Todoroki's not going to like. I don't think he's gonna. I think he's going to be there at least to try to help. At least I hope so. I think it'd be nice. Like if Dobby's piece, like someone mentioned, is like broken and shattered by Todoroki showing up again. It could kind of be like tied back. His Dobby's life was torn apart when Shoto came into the picture the first time, and maybe Shoto's the one that's gonna mess up his beautiful death. A little bit morbid, but I do think it's kind of like a full circle thing that I could see Horikoshi doing.
Yeah.
Either way, though, I gotta say I liked it. It was
Mm.
pretty solid chapter all around.
7.5, 7.5. Same score. Just yeah.
Mine's a 7.
So is mine.
You're so weird.
I
Anyways,
don't know. Yeah.
yeah, good My Hero chapter. I think it was very very solid. Do you want to go right into the Blue Lock chapter then?
Not right away. I do want to talk about some miscellaneous things very briefly. One, the Creams upload is real. All right, it happened this week. Happened yesterday. So round of applause
Yeah.
for me. Pretty happy.
Yeah,
I
chat, go
did
ahead
my
and
job.
you've done half your job. You got
Yeah,
one more,
yeah.
buddy.
I know. I'm
He,
working
he's
on it.
done part of his job. He's fulfilled half of his bargain. We're gonna see.
Yeah.
Let's hope this is happening. But let's give a congratulations to
Thank you,
Kreams for
thank you.
for uploading.
And it was
It
a
is a
fairly
very
odd parents video.
very 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 rare sight.
Okay, that was a lot of
So
berries.
getting to see it in here is it's just wonderful. Finally, as everybody's kind of thinking, a Kreams upload. So
Thank you.
and it was honestly a good video too. So like it's a double whammy, right? It was
Oh,
about a
wow.
series that's not One Piece, so it didn't suck. And we got to eat. You know what I mean? So that's good.
Yeah, I mean you did, which I think is like the thing I was hoping for. I was
Yeah.
like get a Creams video that you can watch for the
Hmm.
first time in what, a year? That was a big accomplishment for me.
A long time. In a long time, bro has not been friendly. Bro does not want me to watch good shit. Um,
Because you
yeah.
know what it is? It's always been like the hiatuses happened as I was getting into One Piece, and then I started making One Piece videos when I got off. But it's funny how that works because the second I stop, you start reading One Piece, and if you guys don't already know, this guy over here has also got some news. You know, he's live streaming over on his channel, the One Piece read-throughs, and
Oh yeah.
I've been locked in. I'm so excited. Like I think I told you this before, dude. As your friend, I'm exhilarated. Like I'm genuinely, unironically, so happy for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Real quick before I talk about that for a second, Orbital Poet, thank you for the 2. Well, Kreams did his damn job. I'm shocked. Damn, bro, he kind of cooking you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, but I guess for anybody who didn't know, real quick, before we hop into the Blue Lock chapter, I'm streaming on my channel, just because, you know, it's fun. You know, I realized I was like, my eyes have been open. Wow, streaming is actually kind of enjoyable. So I decided that I'm gonna actually do it. On Mondays, I'm gonna be doing read-throughs. The series currently is One Piece, so until they catch up, I'm going to be reading One Piece on stream. And then Thursdays, I'm gonna do like just random miscellaneous discussions with basically with like random guests, whoever. If it's like depending on the series I'm talking about, or depending on the topic, I'll bring somebody that makes sense on, or you know, sometimes I'll just talk about some random shit by myself. But Thursdays are going to be more miscellaneous streams. Mondays are like read-throughs and stuff like that. So if you want to come through, you can go ahead and do that. If you want to see me miserable, I mean, super happy reading One Piece, you know, lock in or whatever.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be there, just as a chatter most of the time, assuming it's something I'm interested in.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh
yeah,
God.
bro's fake like that. But yeah. Yeah. So that's nice. New updates for both of us.
Yeah. I do want to like briefly touch on somebody mentioned I was giving off Joker vibes. And I just want to say, dude, that conversation we had the other day about like, okay, chat.
What you do here, Batman?
Yeah, well, like not even what I do if I was Batman, but like how would you kill like the Justice League, right? And bro, like you have to understand, I was jogging home, and a little update on that too, for chat because I already told you. The holding breath thing did work. All right, I was able to run way further without feeling like absolute death. So pretty happy about
Chad,
that.
I don't know if you guys know the lore, but you know, a couple of streams ago, I taught Kreams how to breathe, and he decided to finally implement it, and now he can do it. So you know, a little update on that.
So you know, we're moving, right? But anyway, I started thinking, right, like as I was jogging, man, how would I kill the Justice League, right? Like if I had to, right? Like if I was Batman, right? And this all spawned from Ronin saying a very absurd statement. He said, "If I was Batman, I'd just kill all the rogues, right, and call it a day, right? Because it just seems."
I didn't say that. Nobody said that.
It seems like you're breaking the cycle, which you know, fair, right? Because they go out, they do crimes, they come back, they escape. You know, you weren't wrong, right? But I said, right, if you had to be Batman, right, and kind of employ his ethos to the max, right, and you had to obey the no-kill rule, a good workaround is to simply remove parts of their spine to incapacitate them. And he said,
he's fucking insane.
How is that? You're not killing them. All I'm saying is just make them immobile and bedbound. Honestly, I take a few of their organs too to make sure that if they ever do escape, like they'd suffer for it. Like I would put them on life support artificially.
Man, bro, like what is going on? Like
you're not
like,
killing
bro, like,
them,
okay,
and you're stopping them from doing crime. Like I don't understand.
I would.
You would object to doing this to the Joker.
Here's the thing. No, I would just. Hey, boom, done. I don't have to do any of this twisted fucking inhumane shit, bro. We pulling him behind the barn, right? And boom, tapping his dumb ass.
No,
right?
They wouldn't feel anything, Kai. It's not you're just removing their ability.
What do you mean? They wouldn't feel any, bro. You're removing their organs and their ability to walk.
Again,
like that's literally torture. What are you doing,
guys? Please remember, we are talking about the Joker, right? Like Riddler.
Bro, first of all, you're not just talking about the Joker. You're talking about every Batman villain that has showed up in a comic book page, bro. You're about to do this to some guy that just jaywalked. No, I can't kill you, but I will remove their spine. I'll never do it again, bro.
It's only the rogues, right? It's only like the high tier rogues. The rest you just kind of do your typical Batman thing. It's like, are you telling me you'd kill a guy for littering if you're Batman and you're employing this philosophy, or would you also take it case by case?
Here's the thing. If I'm Batman, the only person that needs to go for good is Joker. I can't, and granted, I don't know that much about Batman, right? So if there's any other people that are Joker tier fucking villains, right? Maybe I'll have to handle them too. But guess what? I'm not doing this sadistic torture shit, bro. I'm gonna be real with you. Taking them out, like, bro, is Batman not against like permanently disfiguring or maiming people?
No, he's not.
Show me what. Give me the panel. Give me the panel
Bro,
where he paralyzes people for good. Give it to me right now. Show me.
He doesn't do it intentionally, but he doesn't mind if it's a side effect. For example, he just regularly beats up henchmen to the point where like major bones and like organs rupture, and they just kind of go in recovery, right? And other times he just beats up.
Permanently maiming them, bro. I'm saying something you cannot recover from a piece of your spine being gone.
Oh, okay. Do you want to get into the okay? For somebody like Clayface, right? Permanent like sub-zero temperatures. For somebody like Mr. Freeze, like the opposite of that, right? I'm talking like you want them to not do like you don't want to kill them, right?
Then why not? What I'm saying is right. What I'm saying is what you're doing is so bad, right? That when it comes to those two, killing is actually the more humane alternative.
I don't
like what I'm saying is what you're doing is so immoral, inhumane, and disgusting, right? That when we're comparing that to killing somebody, killing them is actually the kinder thing to do, right?
Okay, counterpoint. Does the Joker deserve that kindness?
Bro, what? It doesn't matter. So what you're doing now is you're being vindictive. It's not even about saving the city, bro. You're being a supervillain. No, it's not about justice anymore. It's about what I think they deserve. Who gives a fuck, bro? Are you doing this for the sake of the people, or are you doing this to be vindictive? Because as soon as you ask that question, it sounds like it's about revenge, bro.
Fine. You don't want to do it the fun way. We can do it the other way, right? You strongly campaign the city to employ like death row or something. That way, they can have like the death penalty during their trials, right?
Joker can't even get landed in a regular jail, bro. What do you think? How do you think he's gonna get put in death row? Come on now. Bro gets put into an insane asylum every time he gets captured. Every time, look, bro, without fail.
All I'm saying is just pacify them a little bit. Like why? Okay, if the problem, right, is they're recurring like escaping and shit, why not like stop the cycle, right?
What I'm telling you is sure. Like I can agree that you should stop the cycle, right? Fair. What I'm telling you is that your way is actually disgusting and immoral.
Oh my god.
Right? And there is a significantly less disgusting and immoral way to do it.
Again,
right? Mine leaves no potential for it leaves no room for error. Yours does. Somebody can get thawed out of ice, right?
Okay, then
nobody can come back from this fucking bat nuclear bomb. They're done. They're cooked, bro.
You understand, right? I feel like this point is getting away from me. Your way is to kill them, like on your own whim. Like, how is that any different from me?
Bro, what I'm saying, right? Okay. Right? Let me ask you something, right? You eat meat.
Okay.
Do you? I'm asking. Yeah. Okay, cool. Right? Now, if someone grabbed a pig, right, and just surgically just fucking tortured it in front of you, right?
What the fuck, dude?
Do you think that that's worse than you deciding to eat a slice of bacon?
I think it's not a one-to-one because the pig isn't going on like a mass murder spree if you don't.
Okay. No, the thing is, right? The thing is, the pig is going to never live its normal life ever again in both of these scenarios, right? In one of them, it's dying. In the other one, it's being tortured by some fucking crazy person. You're the crazy person, by the way, right?
Oh my god.
In my scenario, right? I take my bow and arrow. Boom, right between the ears, right? Cool, done. Now I get a slice of bacon, some ham, right? In your scenario, you are taking this pig and you are surgically removing parts of its body that it needs to function properly, and you are extending its life in a very inhumane and disgusting way. Okay, bro, isn't torture in like war a crime?
Okay.
Again, in war, right? No. Hold on. No. Think about this for a second, right? In war, killing somebody isn't a war crime, but torturing a prisoner of war is a war crime. Do you want to know why? Because one is more immoral, one is more reprehensible, one is more inhumane.
Again, assuming you are Batman and you want to like obey the no killing rule, right? And you need to figure out a way to stop the cycle. I think that is the best compromise you can make under those specific conditions, right? Because what you're suggesting is just being the Punisher.
Bro, no, I'm not. That's not what I'm doing. That's not what's happening.
Orbital
The
Poe
Punisher has
hit a
more
2.
than one body. I swear to God.
Jason Todd spitting, BR's cooking. I don't like Jason Todd
Bro,
was.
you are talking about torturing people. What are we
People,
doing?
it is the Joker. Are you okay?
I don't care. It does not matter because the thing is, right? What you're like, okay, let's lay out the facts in front of us, right? The Joker is the Joker, right? The only reason we're even taking this such a drastic choice, right? Making such a drastic decision is because we know that we don't want him to do it again, and there's no other way to confirm that, right?
Okay.
Can we agree? Both of these things are.
Right.
We'll even hypothesize that like in your torture scenario, there's no way he can escape, right? Both of these things are permanent, right?
But let me give you the added stipulation that I use, right, when making this judgment, right? It would only be reserved for people of like Joker level, which is only like
Sure.
3 or 4 of his villains.
I'm just talking about Joker. So we're using the worst of the worst, right? We're just talking about like I'm being the most charitable to your argument that you possibly can, right? Cool. So we're talking about Joker, right? Our only goal is to save people's lives, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now tell me why torturing is more strictly objectively more effective than killing him.
Because
tell me why it is.
You keep like classifying it as torture, but the intent is not to torture. It is to just
I don't give a fuck what your intent is, bro. Listen, if I take a gun, I'm like, boom, shot him. Oh man, I didn't intend to. Oops. It doesn't. You killed the guy. Like I don't care what you call it, right? What it is in action is torture. Like that's what it is. You can't like wordle your way out of this, bro. You can't vocabulate your way out of it. Like it is torture.
Ask you something, right? Green Arrow, right? Goes off the reservation, right? And you know he might escape. You don't want to kill him. Do you know what? What do you do? I tell you what I would do. I just take one of his arms. Right?
I get over my reservation. I get over it.
Oh my God.
Like listen, if Green Arrow is such a threat, right? That the idea of torturing him to the point where he can never do anything again even crosses my mind. That's just a guy. I need to get over my stupid moral qualms, and I need to just take him out, bro. Like that's it. Like
again, you are Batman in this. He is. By the way,
show me the reason I torturing these people like this.
The reason I use that example is because that's his canonical contingency for Green Arrow.
Okay, what I'm saying, show me. Okay, right. So you're saying obviously I'm agreeing that he has a no kill rule, right? Show me where Batman is willing to permanently maim his rogues gallery. Show me. Because yeah, sure, I agree that he's not willing to kill people, but show me that he's willing to torture people and permanently maim them for life.
Do you want to go like line by line with all of Batman's?
No, just show me. No, just show me. Just show me.
What the fuck are you doing? It's in the movie. It's in the comic book. Like. Oh
where is he permanently maiming these people? Right, he's removing their spine, he's removing their arms and their legs. Like what? Like come on.
No, I'm saying these are his contingency. Okay, keep in mind, right? I just want to say this, just to be clear. Right? I do not condone this, right? I am saying, also another layer that I just want to clarify too, Batman having these contingencies for the Justice League, his like close friends, and not his immediate rogues gallery is already unhinged as is, right? I just want to like clarify that. That being said, why doesn't Batman just employ the same philosophy he uses to combat his closest friends and allies against these supervillains? Right? Because if you really think about it, right, there's no reason why he should have 20 plans to deal with the strongest creature on Earth, Superman.
What do these plans accomplish at the end of the day? Do they die?
Stopping them, right? Like
okay, cool.
Jailing them.
But jailing them, right?
Yeah.
So are they permanently maimed, right? Is Superman coming out paralyzed? Is that the case? Just yes or no?
Don't think so.
Then it's not a 1-to-1 comparison because listen. The contingencies are stopping. Hey, bro, Superman's a danger. Throw some kryptonite at his dumbass, right? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, kryptonite, my weakness, right? You can take kryptonite away, and then he's okay, right? I'm not saying Batman can't put the pause on Joker, right? Go ahead, break an arm, break a jaw, whatever, right? As long as you know that's what's necessary to stop him. Cool. An arm can heal, right? A jaw can be. You can relocate that shit, right? You can't unparalyze somebody, bro. You can't uncut off their arms. And what I'm saying is, right, even in your like the worst case Batman contingencies or whatever, right? I'm once again, I'm not a comic nerd, right? Just based off what I know, right? These things leave non-permanent damage. Superman is not he's not even depowered for life. And if you just use kryptonite, punch him with some kryptonite boxing gloves, bro. It's gonna hurt. He's gonna get hurt like a normal person would. But guess what? Give him a few days, bro. He'll get better. He'll get over it. So what I'm saying, right, is if we're talking about hitting somebody, we need to get them down and they need to stay down. Why not take the permanent option and the one that is more humane? I just don't see why not to do it.
Because again, this is not. This is. You keep like putting the situation. You are still Batman, right? You have to like obey these fundamental beliefs.
Batman would never he would never do this because he does like what I'm saying is this hypothetical is putting us in the position, right? Mm-hmm. If Batman would do what you're saying, he would have done it, but he doesn't do it because he wouldn't do it. Does that make sense? What you're saying is just as improbable for Batman to do as what I'm saying because they both go up against his moral code. He doesn't do it, right? Because he doesn't want to do it because it goes against his moral code. That's the only he has the ability to. We agree he has the capacity to, right? So if he has the capacity to, and over his decades long run, right, he hasn't done it, the only conclusion we can come to is because he doesn't want to do it. And if he doesn't want to do it, right, as we're talking about with the no-kill rule, he wouldn't do what you're outlining either. Both of our things are things Batman would never do. So if you want to bring that up, right, we're having a discussion about two things Batman will never, ever do in character.
Look.
And in that case, right, sure, mine is illogical, yours is illogical, let's throw it out. We can stop talking about Batman torturing people.
Okay.
And we can, like...
If you want to be, like, more, like, I don't know, accurate to Batman's character, fine, right? Batman said it himself when Jason Todd confronted him about, like, killing Joker, right? He was like, and I told you this, right? If it starts with Joker, he's not going to stop, right? And he didn't mean it like, oh yeah, I'd kill the rest of the villains. No, he meant it like, period, right? Like the guy will become a full-blown, I'll kill you for jaywalking psych. Like Batman is not a stable individual, right? What I am talking about is adding another step down this road between him like having these limitations and him going fully off the reservation.
And so he'll just do that to everybody.
Which is better than being a mass murderer.
No, it isn't. Paralyzing and torturing people at a mass rate is just, it's like, you would be better off just punching people, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, if we're saying once Batman starts, he can't stop, right? We're finished anyways. Because what you're saying, right, what you're then condemning people to is like, yeah, you're now paralyzed for jaywalking. You're now paralyzed for smoking weed. You're now paralyzed for fucking stealing from your local convenience store. Right? Insane shit. Wild shit, right? So if we're saying, okay, yeah, right, we're not Batman. We have all of these flaws and stuff like that. And once we start doing this twisted shit, we can't stop. But then both of our things should be thrown out because both of them are fucking absurd when not used with the utmost care and fucking like decision making, right? If all we're doing is just being as unhinged as Batman, we shouldn't change anything about what he's doing. Just let him beat people up. That's all we can do.
So look, man, I thought my way is better to stop these super criminals because that's the only thing I had it reserved for, right?
But you can't do, because the same thing would be for the killing thing, right? I'm only saving it for fucking Joker, but you're using the logic that once he starts, he won't be able to stop. Fair. I'm not going to argue with you there, right? Makes sense. He would do the same thing with torturing people.
You know what? Fine.
And if that's the case,
I guess.
Don't do it at all. Like, boom, punch him in the jaw.
Look,
give him a concussion. Move on.
I thought my way was, I don't know. To me, you're right. I was like, okay, murder is bad, right? Especially if you're Batman. But you need to figure out a way to stop the cycle of you just beating them up, them getting out and starting over again, right? And it was like, okay, this seems like a good halfway point, right? Because you're almost trying to. You're trying to solve Batman's fundamental like mission, right? Of like stopping crime in Gotham, while also satisfying his stupid no-kill rule, right? So
you're adding that stipulation. The problem is, right, the no-kill rule is a more general moral framework, right? It's not just literally no killing, right? I think we can agree that Batman's morals are not just stop it. I can do anything to them so long as I don't kill them, right? We agree that it's a general set of morals that he has that he's not willing to bend on. And I'm saying part of those morals would, just based off what we've seen him do, right, extends to permanently maiming and torturing people in a way they can never recover from, right? Someone mentions, like, you can mention shit like, oh, Arkham, bro, like he's tortured, like, bro, he's like, breaking people's arms if they don't listen. He's scaring them, he's dropping them off
That's
buildings, hanging them
Batman
by
at
their
his
legs,
most
right?
sane. That is already the compromise that like that is him at his
And
most like.
and that's what I'm saying, right? So if we're saying that his tipping point, like he will break if you push him any further, then the whole conversation should be don't push him any further.
Okay, so let me ask you something, right? Assuming current Batman is who he is, and you're just like, we'll call you a henchman, right? Not necessarily a street criminal, but like not necessarily a supervillain, right? You're just a henchman, right? You're in a dark alley. You see Punisher or Batman. Which one are you choosing?
Batman?
That's the point, right? Now, hear me out, right? Let's take this up a notch. Let's say you're a supervillain, right? Like you're the fucking Scarecrow or you're the Joker, right? You see the Punisher
Okay.
and you see Batman, but you see Batman with my, I don't know, buff, right?
Punisher.
Really?
I do, dude. I think you fail to understand, like how just like, dude. I have to reiterate, torture is a war crime for a reason, right? In war, you can kill people, but you're not legally in war allowed to torture them, right? So I'm gonna ask you this, and it's not rhetorical this time, right? If one of these things is deemed as just part of war and that's okay, but the other is deemed so reprehensible that we need a law in the Geneva Conventions to like disincentivize people to do it. What do you think that means? What do you think that's generally people's outlook on torture in comparison to killing? It's
Fine,
that it's worse.
fine, fine. I
So
thought
yeah, bro.
I thought it was
Punisher
clever.
just listen, bro. Punisher's gonna get if like, oh no, I can never walk again. All my arms are removed. I have one kidney. I have one liver, bro. I have half my liver. I'm like, bro, what are we talking about? What are we doing? Like, bro, just fucking take me out. Like, what's going on, man?
But it,
I don't know.
like, okay, I see it as like a utilitarian thing, right? Just to kind of balance all of Batman's weird morals with his mission, because he's an inherently insane person, right? So for me, it's not out of the realm of possibility for him to have this as a kind of internal logic action.
The problem is, right, you keep saying that this is like an in between the morals, right? And I'm arguing that what you're saying is worse. It is further along the totem pole than killing, right? It
Mm,
doesn't go beating people up, then torture, then killing. It goes beating people up, then killing, then torture, right? One of those is more disgusting than the other, right? So like Killing Joke, right? I think that's the one where he shoots Barbara,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah,
What did he do to Jim Gordon? Did he kill him or did he torture him?
true. Okay.
So what is getting you closer to being like Joker, right? Torturing people because he why did he do that, right? He did it to make people like him, right? He did it to get Jim Gordon one bad day, blah blah blah, right? Cool. So for understanding that torture is literally something that the Joker is like, yes, this is the way to get people like me, not killing, torture.
Okay.
Why the
Okay.
fuck do we want Batman to do
Fine.
it?
Let me. Would a less severe version of my thing work? For example, what if it's just like a hand or something, right? Like something very modest that just stops, right? Just a little roadblock, right? It's not like this ongoing quote unquote torture thing, as you keep insisting, right? With the spine and whatnot, but just something to incapacitate them or slow them down in some way. I personally think it wouldn't work because they could just get around that, but
Yes, it would like it would impede, especially someone like Joker, who's not out here like fucking fighting you like Deathstroke, right? It's
mm,
going to impede him as much as a broken jaw will, right? Damn, that hurts. That knocks me off my feet for a little bit. But guess what? We back in the game, and my henchmen are gonna cook some shit up, right? That's all it is, right? So listen, if you're gonna go permanent, what I'm saying is there is a more humane and more provably workable way to go permanent, right? You want to go fucking you want we want to hit them when they stay down, right? Cool, cool, cool. Fine, right? We can have a conversation about that, whether or not that makes sense, whether or not that's moral. Cool, 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 right? But your hit them and they stay down option, I'm saying, is I think it's less moral and less effective than mine. And I'm saying if we're trying to say, okay, but maybe we don't have the ability to just permanently take him out of the game, right? Then just let Batman do what he's been doing and punch the lights out of criminals, bro.
Fine. Look, I just always thought Batman's mission was in vain. I thought, hey, this might be a way to like get him to actually materialize the goal in some way. Because look, the whole point is that this is Batman's whole life's work, right? This is his mission. This is the thing he puts in front of himself, his family, everybody that loves or cares about him, everything, right? So, it is weird to me that he is not doing everything he can to pursue this goal in any tangible way.
If he were to do everything he can, he would forgo his no kill rule. But we already know why he doesn't do that. And I think once again that the torture method is further along the insanity line than killing. So what I'm saying is the reason he doesn't do that is because there's a sort of spectrum of options, right? He can do nothing, cool, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or he can do literally whatever it takes, right? Batman has chosen the middle option, which is I'm not going to do nothing, but I'm also not going to stop at whatever it takes to quote unquote achieve my goal, right? Which I think, sure, that'll be what his life is for forever, but is doing something, even if it's only 50% effective, less useful than doing nothing? Like, okay, right? Putting a band-aid or like wrapping up your bleeding hand, right? That shit isn't closing it. It's not stitches. Are you never gonna wrap your hand again? Right? It's either stitches or nothing, right? I know, bro. If I'm not closing this wound up myself, I'm never taking action ever again, right? No bandaging, no cleaning that shit, bro. No. It's either stitches or nothing. Like, no, that's absurd. We know that you can take some action that is effective while not being the end all be all.
Look, man. All I'm saying is, fundamentally, what I am trying to resolve, right? I guess is Batman's plight. Because, okay, your thing just makes him the Punisher, I guess, but with, like more resources, whatever, right? I feel like my thing, there's some nuance to it. I don't know.
Your thing makes the guy someone that the Punisher is scared of, bro.
Is that not a good thing? Do you not want a Punisher who is scared to be the Punisher?
Bro, okay, Batman's whole thing is making people scared of him, right?
Yeah.
If fear was enough of a deterrent to stop all crime, it would be over, right? It would be over, but it's not, right? Because fear is not a large enough deterrent. Because you got crazies and you got people who are willing to do crime scared. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: arguing that, oh yeah, I'm scared of this doesn't matter. It does not matter. So, Batman is a scary guy already. I'm like, if Batman, listen, bro, even if I wasn't committing a crime, right? If I've never committed a crime in my life, which I haven't, and Batman was just in my vicinity, bro, I'm scared. My knees are knocking, bro. I'm shaking. I'm shivering. Not me that like this is like a different like if I wasn't like a superhero myself, right?
mm-hmm.
I'd be nervous, right? But guess what? That doesn't mean a motherfucker down the street is not willing to go shoot it. Like, bro, people are bold, people are stupid, people are crazy.
So okay, let me ask you this, right? You're the criminal. You get to you're having the equal amount of fear if we go my Batman and your Batman, are you not?
I'm having the equal amount of fear.
Yeah, like okay, you're a criminal and you get the Batman who maims and the Batman who kills, right? Like our respective Batmen. Which are you not scared of both of these guys equally?
No.
Huh?
Being permanently maimed to me, right, to the degree you talked about, especially initially, is far scarier.
What if he scales it, right? What if he just scales it to the kind of criminal that you are, right? So let's say you're at like limb level.
You're at limb level. How do you decide that? What's the criteria?
you're
You
not
just eyeball it, you guess, you're like, hey, you know what? Your crime doesn't seem that bad, right? Well, okay,
kinda,
let me
yeah.
you break and enter, right? Cool,
Hmm.
right? How does that just compare to like,
Like a
an
finger,
armed robbery of a store,
like like
right?
like
How
a
do you compare
finger and
those?
like okay, like a finger to a hand to an arm, right?
Bro, what is this fucking
Oh my
range?
god. Okay, you know what? Let's just read these super chats. All right.
Thank you.
Stardust Phantom, thank you for the 5. Creams, Batman is canon. Oh my god. Batman in canon gives non-terrorists and villains chances for redemption. Bruce is a hard ass, but he's not a heartless psychopath. Thank you for
Yes.
the 5. You first. Thank you for the 5. Also in The Dark Knight Returns. Ugh. Graphic novel. He cripples a thug in front of the police officer. He responds by saying he's young. He'll walk it. He'll walk again. Dark Knight Returns is not great. And it's also not mainline canon, and also it's like needlessly dark. Not my favorite
And
run.
listen, bro. Bro said all what he said. It said needlessly dark. I'm sick. Okay. Stardust Phantom is you next. Thank you for the 2. Creams. Bruce believes in reform. Yes. Also, I think you missed another you first one. For 5. In a recent Batman book,
Oh,
Batman One Bad Day, the Riddler, he waterboards a thug for information and a shark take as they're bleeding. Hey, bro, can you get blood back? That's all I'm saying. But you can get more blood. Let's see. What the hell? Central hoarding. Thank you for the 5. What question is this?
EOBR, which Bleach girls would you smash, pass, and marry between Rangiku, Urahime, and Nell? I'm just
Um,
gonna do this guy a solid and say adult Urahime for you.
appreciate you. I'll pass on Nell. I guess wife, adult or Hime, rank EQ smash.
My
There you
answer
go.
is the same. Not
Yeah,
that you asked, Satchel, but you know we don't have to talk about that part.
not at
Um,
all.
by the way, I just want to give a shout out to this chat. It just made me chuckle. Creams wants to collect pinkies for jaywalking.
Yeah, bro. Like, bro's just insane. I'm trying to understand. I'm like, bro, I'm so glad. Like, I told you this in DMs, bro. I'm so glad you have capabilities less than that of a normal person. Because if you didn't, I would worry for people, right? Like, I'm glad you
Bro,
just don't have the capabilities to
dude,
enact your
all I'm saying
justice.
is, if it was my justice, crime rates would plummet.
Okay, bro. Um,
That's all I'm putting out there. All right, like
bro,
no, in Gotham specifically, in Gotham, in this fictional scenario. Just want to make that clear. It's only the situation as I've described it before. All right.
Bro, all I'm saying is there tends to be a very big problem with like the people that think that's going to be the case. Like realistically, you end up getting letting this power go to your head, right? And oh no, I'm different. No, you're not different, bro. You're like everybody else, in fact. Once you start, you fuck up, right? You permanently like the problem with it too, right? With like killing, even with my idea, right? Like, oh, I mean, aside from like, because my thing really only extends to Joker. That's why I take such a fucking like an extreme like permanent option because like you and I both know the Joker has no chance of being innocent, right?
Exactly.
There is
And that's
there
why
is zero,
that's
right?
why
But when you
I
say
like
hold on, but
okay.
when you say for someone breaking and entering, right? Um, like, oh yeah, I'll take a hand or a pinky or whatever, right? The reason that's such a problem, right? Because damn, bro, they go to court. Yeah, shit, I didn't do that shit, bro. It's actually wrong. Like that's actually just there was context, bro. You were missing the context on that shit. Damn, now you don't have your hand. Now you don't have your finger. Now you don't have your arm because I fucked up, right? That's not just like something that you can heal. Like, yeah, sure, a broken arm, that sucks, right? You probably wouldn't want that for being falsely accused. But guess what? A broken arm can be reset, right? A dislocated shoulder can be reset. A broken jaw, all the shit, right? That can be fixed if you fuck up as the superhero, right? And you take something away that cannot be given back, right? That is when you've entered supervillain territory. You are starting to become someone that cannot be trusted with people,
Okay.
which I think that would be the case.
Look, you and I both fundamentally agree that people like the Joker, which is mainly who this conversation really started with, are the
Mm,
problem, right? They're not going to be reformed. Like canonically, they're just not going to be, right?
mm.
And how do you deal with these people who by all respects are the major problem while also retaining all of your weird Batman morals, right? This is the reason I impose these limitations is because that is you are
Okay,
having to deal with them as they are for Batman, right?
I'm going to give you an objective solution, right? You're not going to like it. It's going to be fucking ass, right?
Okay.
But the way you balance all of that out, open up a comic book. That's it. That's the way Batman goes, like the way he functions, right? Is how he tries to reduce, limit, or eliminate crime while keeping up with all of his morals, right? That the way he does it in the comic books is the only way he would be able to do it with his morals. Anything more extreme, and we are now venturing outside of what he morally will allow himself to do.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I think I told you this. Like, okay, the problem with Batman killing, right, is that once he started, right, the okay, if any of you don't know about Dark Knight's Metal, here's the quick summary, right? Jokerified Bruce Wayne, just kills, right? He is Bruce Wayne, right? But with like Joker morals, right? Like, so he kills, he does everything, but just at his level, right? That guy, right? Once he started, kept going to the point where he absorbed a multiversal god and had to be put down by like an aspect of reality. Like, for me, right? I think for Batman specifically, it is maiming and then killing because the guy has he needs some kind of a barrier to keep him from going and committing to killing because he just eats up
I'm
the entire
telling you,
food
the
chain.
barrier is what he does right now. It's beating people up. That's the barrier. That's it. That's the line. If he crosses it, he's fucked. That's what I'm saying. Anything further, and he is done for.
Fine, fine, fine. Uh,
Like, listen, right? If you want a real answer, what you should do as Batman, right? You got to find somebody who's not clinically fucking insane. Somebody who can tell the difference, like when you should and shouldn't do it, and then you train them, right? The real answer is Batman should find somebody that is more mentally like suited to be Batman, and he should just be the eye in the sky, right? The
yeah.
guy in the chair. Like that would be the proper answer, right? Get
Mhm.
Batman off the fucking streets. Get Nightwing in here as a little bit more of a
Yeah.
stronger, more coherent, moral
Yeah, and
compass, right? And it's
he's
like, all right,
perfect as Batman. He
fuck
is he has
Bloodhaven, right?
yeah,
You literally you come over here, you do this shit, right?
and
That's the
and
right
bro,
answer.
look, and I agree with you. Like, that is where we agree. That is the right answer, right? This is a pure hypothetical of this specific situation, right? I agree with your objective answer. Like, that was never really in question, right? And to your point, I would also argue that like it's been confirmed that Nightwing is just the perfect Batman, right? He is all of Bruce's strengths with none of his weird psychological weaknesses, right? He is
Hmm.
unironically Bruce's greatest success, right? That being
Okay.
said, Bruce's biggest flaw is himself, right? He is such a manic control freak that he just can't do that as long as he is alive and capable.
Hey, bro. Oh, I was about to say, you ever heard of Batman Beyond?
Yeah.
Nah, but listen, sure, right? But then at that point, we're like all we're getting back to is there is no solution. Batman is doing the best that he possibly psychologically can, right? In which the discussion just goes back to zero. If we like what I'm basically saying, right, is if we make no changes to who Batman is, nothing that we're adding here would be done. Like, and the Batman is doing the only thing that he would do. Does that make sense?
I
Right?
can't believe that's the conclusion we came to. It was like, hey, I wonder if there's a way to improve upon Batman's method without, compromising his morals. And it was just, oh no, he's doing the best he can, which is crazy that this is Batman doing the best he can. It's so fucking
That's all he's got, bro. He's messed up.
yeah, inefficient guy. Anyway, fun convo nonetheless.
Whew, Jesus. No, you did not miss JJK. We haven't even fucking touched
Yeah,
JJK
we
because
haven't
of
even
this
touched
guy.
Block, dude. And,
Oh, jeez.
I mean, I had
Ugh.
fun. I hope you guys had fun. A lot of comic
All
book
right, listen.
people in chat.
Uh, listen, you made me argue about comic books for like 30 minutes.
And
That
did
shit
you not
is
have fun?
no,
Come on.
bro. I felt like I was fucking teaching a toddler morals. No, little Timmy, you can't rip that guy's pinky off just because he jaywalked. Like, all right, bro, let's fucking Jesus. Anyways, God, switch gears. Not a moral discussion anymore. Blue Luck chapter.
Again, it was fun. No, I gotta pee and super chats. We'll be right back.
Okay, all right. Alrighty. Let's see. Let's see. All right, Red Satchel Hardings. Hi, thank you for the two. Cream's approaching his ghetto arc for real. Yeah, he is. I mean, he's already in it though. Let's see. Sleeping Danger, thank you for the 14. If Creams could breathe, we would be cooked. Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. Bro doesn't have the hand-eye coordination to like jump and shoot a basketball, so he has a lot of physical things he would need to make up for. But yes, being able to breathe would be one of those things for sure. Creams is kind of psychotic. Remove this the kinda, and I agree. Jesus. Creams is the same person you thought you could be best buddies with Aizen. You know what? I have noticed that like I shut down a lot of Creams' like fanfic ideas. Chat, do you think I should just let him get those off? I don't know. Nah. If I don't shut them down, who will? Type it. You know what? Yeah. Let's see. Creams terrifies me every time. Every time I hear him more and more. Yeah. This is why superpowers can never work in the real world. See, I feel like now. Listen. I'm not light. All right, so relax. I feel like I would chill with superpowers. I feel like I would chill, but I also think the reason I would chill with superpowers is because I'd have no interest in fucking like being like a full-time superhero. I'd be one of those guys who like, damn, bro, you're getting mugged, and I'm right there. I'll use my super speed. I'll like give you back your purse or some shit, trip the guy, and then move on with my day. I'm not out to be. I'm not about what the hell? I'm not about to be out here like Spider-Man, Batman, or the Flash or some shit. Saving lives is my day job. I don't know about that, bro. I really don't know. You know, I do some minorly maybe criminal things, right? But things that, you know, how do I say, what are they, victimless crimes? Like I'll steal for some rich people or something. You know what I mean? Like, bro, Elon Musk, I can hold $1 billion. Like, I trust me, bro. He's gonna be confused about where that shit went, but like, I can hold $1 billion. Like, that's all I'm saying. So I'm gonna just take that. I'm like, boom. Now I'm set. Now I'm chilling. Now I'm good. Everybody I know is good. We all eating. We all chilling. And then I'll just move about my day being a good person. But like, you know, not too good of a person. Not like heroic. Just, damn, that shit happened to you. I can help you out, bro. I got you. Ronin would be an Avenger level threat, bro. I'm such a like. Listen, I'm such a fucking degular, like above average person. Wait, I think that's contradictory. Anyways, I'd definitely be a normal guy with powers. BR is gonna conquer America and make Creams his right hand man. You're actually insane if you think with the power to control an entire country, Creams would have any position of power. Bro is going to be my janitor. That's all I'll say. That is not Creams is not. Listen, chat. I know I co-host with this guy.
I'm back.
But I'm not dumb enough to give him like a position of power and like anything that like really matters. I'll give him like this like a fake position, like kind of like how
what are you talking
I think
about?
Michael did it to Dwight. What's up?
What are we talking about here?
Ronin Hood? Hold on. I kind of like the. I'm gonna write that down. Anyways, they're just talking about like you're the reason, like you're an example of why people can't have powers.
I'm not. Look, that was a very extremely specific scenario.
You are. You got just hold that, bro. You're a reason why you are an example of why you're not a whole reason. You're an example, right? Like people like you are the reason. Like most the population cannot just have powers and chill.
Look, bro, I think that's pretty unfair to go off of this very specific conversation where you're asking me, "Hey, man, what would you do?"
Listen, I've heard what you said about if you had Homelander's powers. We've had the conversation. It's not one conversation.
Bro,
it's many.
I would literally be a hero. What are you talking about?
You did not sound very heroic in those conversations. Numerous conversations.
Not to the people.
Numerous conversations.
Not to the people who don't deserve it. Let's
numerous conversations. Yes. Numerous conversations, bro. And all I'm saying, like, listen, Chad only heard this one, right? I've heard
Look,
I've heard some conversations.
Look, chat. All I'm telling you is I would be a supervillain to certain people, and a hero to the world.
Yeah.
And we'll keep it there. Don't make it sound worse than it is, man. You know what the end goal would be.
No, listen, bro. Listen, I know what Light's end goal was.
No,
but
we
know what that's happening. No. Listen, think about Kreams. I want you to like genuinely, right? Think about what you said. Think about like your methods and how far you're willing to go, right? And then think about what the story of Death Note is. Seriously, just for 60 seconds, right? Just think, right, about what Light says, he's only taking out the people that deserve it, right? If he had the power to, he's only getting rid of the people that deserve it, right? He's doing this for a good end goal. He's doing it for justice. He's doing it for
Bro,
goodness, right? He's eliminating evil. You like
my brother
motherfucker, I could overlap you and Dub Light's fucking line, and you guys might just match. You guys might just sync up.
Look, bro. You literally agreed that you'd use them in basically, this is Superman's powers, by the way, in basically the same way I would. You would just do it on a smaller scale. Like, don't fucking talk no jutsu them.
Bro, we like, let's say I did, right? Clearly had a change of heart because we don't have the same fucking ideals when it comes to using these abilities, right? We just had like a 30 to 40 minute discussion about, yeah, man, I don't think using your abilities this way is like moral at all. Like I just vehemently disagreed with you about the way to go about doing this.
Again,
so
that's
clearly,
if you're Batman.
Once again,
In Batman's situation, dude, like it's.
Listen, bro, you can phrase it, you can flip it, you can turn it upside down, you can spin it around however you want to. All I'm saying, right? I'm calling a spade a spade. If you say some shit that sounds like Light Yagami, I'ma say you said some shit that sounds like Light Yagami. That's all, bro. And listen, if you're gonna own up to it, own up to it. Because here's the thing: one of the facts, he got the crime rate down, right? But hey, if you're willing to be light to get that shit done, just own up to it, bro. Say it with your chest. Say it loud and proud. That's all I'm saying.
No, because Light Yagami is fundamentally. I'm not gonna fucking do this with you again all the way. I'm just gonna like keep it like simple, okay? Light Yagami is fundamentally held back by his own ego and short-sightedness.
You think you don't have that?
Jesus Christ, dude.
And I'm saying from the outside perspective, right? You do.
From the outside perspective, the whole point is I'm not doing this with you again. You
listen.
just, like,
I'll say this.
bro.
I bet if I asked Light if he had a huge ego, he would say no too. That's all I'm gonna say.
God.
That's all I'm gonna say. If I asked Light Yagami, hey man, do you have an inflated ego? He would say no. That's all. Like that's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Don't debate, bro, my personality. Don't do that.
Hey, don't bring up these topics then, bro. That's all I'm saying. You can't bring up a moral. Hey, let's have this moral. Let's hash it out, right? Don't get mad when I have the conversation.
It's not. All I'm saying is you're fundamentally missing the point of like. Whatever.
Hey, bro, we can move on. I've been wanting to move on to the Blue Lock chapter for about 30 minutes. So we can talk about it. Let's talk about Blue Lock.
Fine.
So. Yeah, chapter 218, kind of a continuation of the last chapter. I guess we can. I don't know if we talked about. No, we did talk about last chapter, right? We talked about Barrow's vision and all that shit.
Yeah. Because we also
does Niko have metavision? Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Metavision.
Unconsciously,
cool.
Accidental metavision.
Yeah, accidental metavision.
Yeah. Honestly,
man, might be cooked.
Yeah. Oh man, I was so happy to see. I'm hoping Barrow's the first. Of like these alternate visions, where it's like. Not necessarily a counter to metavision, but an alternative, because on its own it seems like pretty broken, right? Especially if you're like the only one on the field that has it, which, you know, to be fair, Isagi isn't. But I think the problem is that kind of dictates, jeez, man, that there's only one way to play soccer, and it's nice to see alternatives that are not framed to be worse than the way Isagi's been doing it. Which I appreciate.
They're just different. I do like that. It would be interesting if like Aiku and Lorenzo have something, maybe a vision that is dedicated specifically towards defending.
Ooh, yeah. I like that
how
too.
To shut him down, all that.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. Because like I think Isagi added some clarification. Metavision is not something that everybody can use. Like it's not even something that everybody does. It's something that not everybody can. You have to have it. It's sort of like not everybody can be Chigiri in terms of speed, right? So I like that. I like the way it's visually depicted, that Isagi's vision and like the way he goes about playing is much more broad, much more inclusive, and things of that nature. And like Barrow's is much more short-sighted. It's much more narrow. It's just like me and the goal, me and the goal. It's a 1v1. Isagi, I think it fits his character for him to be a lot more aware of his surroundings and things of that nature.
Yeah, it's just playing to your strengths, really. Not even just as a striker, but as a player. Where I think the vision you have will be best utilized in the position or role that you play on the field. Like, for example, I think the way Niko's metavision is tailored is to like be a defender or like a I don't
Okay,
know
I agree.
what did he call it, like a ace eater? No, that was Lorenzo, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he's a defender.
Yeah,
He likes destroying or
right.
dismantling
So
strikers.
it's the same vision, but used for different purposes, which I think is
Yeah,
very interesting as well.
yeah, yeah. Metavision does it's a very like applicable ability in different ways for sure. Um, yeah. I will say I like this. This chapter was like not too much happened. I feel like in terms of events, but I do feel like we got a lot of extra information. Characters got caught up on some things. I like chapters like these. They're nice in between like these big moments where it's like, we're kind of re-understanding some of the things, Isagi's evaluating other characters or other players on the field, right? We get extra context for like even though Isagi's getting caught up by Kaiser or Lorenzo or Niko, when we look at like Raichi, Corona, or like Yukimiya, he's like, "Did you just see it that way?" He's like, "Yeah, as you just getting the like as the ball just falling to you." They don't understand that Isagi how much went into positioning himself that way,
Yeah.
right? Raichi's just like, the ball just fell to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Oh, you guys see it the same way Raichi did?" And he's like, "Okay, yeah, I figured, right? You guys can't see what I see."
Mm.
And I think it's a nice way to like reframe that Isagi is still extremely high level,
Mm-hmm.
but he's just all his comp is just getting higher.
His comp.
Competition.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Also explosive grape. Thank you for the two. Creams did nothing wrong. Yeah, I appreciate you, bro. That was a. You know, I'm not gonna get into it. Never mind. Yeah. I do want to see more. I know what I want to see. What vision I want to see most, right? I was like mentally tiering it, and I think
Hmm.
next to like oh my god, that's a whole other conversation. I want to see an anti-meta vision, if that makes sense. Like something that sort of collides or in some way balances out Metavision's just like OP nature.
I
Uh,
mean, so there's a lot of things. So okay, go ahead and continue.
because the closest thing we've seen is just the way the Ubers play, right, as a team collectively. It's not necessarily
Mm-hmm.
Baro himself doing it, which I
Mm-hmm.
think is cool, for that team, right? But I think it's going to have to be like different teams are going to have to adapt different ways, because they don't all have a Baro.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I kind of agree, but I do think that they're like Metavision. So there's a reason Kaiser can't get past Lorenzo, right? And
Mm,
if Lorenzo does not have Metavision, it's going. I think like you can get around it by forcing a lot of one-on-one play, or physicality, which I think Kunigami is showing,
oh my
right?
god, dude.
Kaiser's
Ugh.
plan, like Isagi didn't foresee that, right? Kunigami just like being extremely selfish and being extremely physical, like Baro and Kunigami are, it kind of throws a wrench in that, right? We saw the Metavision eyes get activated by Isagi. Kunigami comes in, his eyes are normal again, and he has to readjust, right? He has to re-input this
Mm.
information.
Yeah, because they have to turn
So
it
I,
on consciously.
yeah. So I think it's something like I think it's something where there are multiple counters. Like it's going to be hard to metavision speed,
Yeah.
right? It's hard to counter that, right? It's hard to metavision very unique or like very like just um like high walls like strength, right? You or just like, oh, this person can shoot from either leg. It's a 50-50 shot in which one they're taking. I think that's going to be kind of like it's going to be, you know what I mean? How should I phrase this, right? There's always been counters to spatial awareness. Metavision is just an amped version of that, and I feel like the counters are just going to be amped versions of what they were before, right? Nagi shat on Kaiser and Isagi temporarily with his like trapping and with Rayo, right? So you can get around it, you can surpass it, even without that vision. You need skills of your own to be utilized to their max to do so. It's just kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, I definitely think that's the approach that they're going to take,
Mhm.
exploiting the inherent weaknesses of Metavision. And I guess this kind of goes back into what I said about Isagi's personal weakness just being that, like, the guy is just not as specced out physically as the other
Mm,
players.
yeah.
So it could be just trying to maximize that advantage. As for Kunigami, dude, I audibly, like, sighed when he came on the page, right? I, like, you know what I tweeted when I was like, not this loser again? Because that was the first thought that came to mind when I saw him. Like this
Go.
fucking loser again. Like, bro, you're not him. Sit on the bench. And it got me thinking, right? I am 90% sure Noel Noah just doesn't know what he's doing as a coach. I think he's a great player, right? The best in the world. As a coach, you can't have three people trying to devour each other on the same team on a professional level, right? That just doesn't track.
Wrong.
Oh my god, not this shit
Bro,
again,
who
bro.
who won the last game, bro? Who won the last game?
I'm not...
Which team won? The one with three people trying to devour each other, or the one where they were all like synergetic and all that shit, right? Which team won? I'm just curious. Maybe I forgot.
Isn't that the one where Sagi passed to Yukimiya? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay.
What were they? Were they not all devouring each other and stealing from each other, or no, the entire time?
Yes, but
The one where Kunigami steals Isagi's goal, the one where Kaiser jumps in front of the way of Isagi shooting, the one where Isagi does the same to Kaiser, the one where Kaiser literally grabs Isagi and tries to push him off course to shoot. That
you
team.
are better than defending Kunigami.
No, I'm not.
Bro,
Kunigami's a goat.
He's not. He's just a
Yeah, he
fucking
is.
loser.
I'm like, bro, listen, say what you want. He's got more points than Isagi. Like, just, hey, bro.
Dude, I hate him so much.
Maybe, hey, listen, bro. Hold on. How many points does Kaiser have overall? I'm trying to remember if he.
I don't remember.
I'm trying to remember. He has two. He has at least 2 Kaiser impact shots. So he's at least pulling even with Kunigami. I'm trying to remember any more though. Anyways.
Yeah. Also, a double spread. A double spread of Kunigami fucking taking it from
is
Ness.
exactly what we needed.
Oh my god.
Is exactly what we needed.
I
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nosebleed. I was so mad.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh
Yes,
my
sir.
God.
You love to see it. You love to see it, bro. Shove that bum out of the way and let the dark horse cook. Let him cook, bro. Let him cook. All I'm saying, right, is like, listen, dislike Kunigami's character, dislike the edginess, do what you want, bro. You can't disregard the skills because he's outscoring Isagi.
Honestly, unironically, I think you're right. I think that is my fundamental problem with Kunigami. He's such a loser to me. Like, I fundamentally don't respect anything he's done, really. Maybe in his like early hero days I tolerated it a little bit more, but like this kind of like edginess is just so, like, it only reads as cringy to me. And every fucking time it's like, bro, leave this fucking field. Like
That's that delusion talking, bro. That's that delusion. That's unfortunate.
No, bro, it's hate. It's just straight up hate. I just fucking hate Kunigami.
Nah, bro. No, that's that delusion, bro. We'll get you out of there. Listen, we'll fix you up soon, bro. We'll fix you up soon. But yeah, I'm satisfied with this chapter. Nothing really to complain about for me. Kunigami showed up, basically classified it for a GOAT chapter, and I think this is a nice. It was a nice change of pace. Like, it's not go all the time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The ball is only really back in play for the last few pages. Yeah. A certain mangaka could take some pointers from, like, slowing down some... I'm sorry. My fault.
Well, we're doing this already? Or do you want to...
No. Sorry.
Okay.
I just got a little... Slow the fuck down, Gege. Sorry, I just got a little cough, a little bit of a frog in my throat, if you will. But yeah, anywho, I'm going to use the bathroom. You can talk about Blue Loco chat for a little bit, cool. I will be right back.
Dude, hello. Yes, I hate Kunigami. Like, you know, it goes me and Kunigami, and then, like, BR and Nanami as, like, number 1, right? I can never measure up to how much BR...
All right, I like Nanami, bro. Listen, bro. Let's first... I like Nanami.
Bro, go pee. I'm gonna keep going with this.
All
right. Look, it's not BR's fault that he hates Nanami. Really, it's Gege's for just... like, having Nanami get outclassed so quickly in such a major way. I think there was one moment of shine that Nanami truly got as, like, a grade 1 sorcerer, and that was when he beat up... fuck, what's his name? Hanzo? God, he was so lame. Jeez. I forgot his name. I reread the series, too, during the break. Chat, what is... Haruta. Thank you, chat. Oh, my God. It was Haruta. Y'all didn't help me out. That was all me. But, you know, if you want to take credit for it, that is something I would do. Man. Dude, what is happening to me right now? Fuck. Give me a second. Orbital Poet, thank you for the 2. Gege speed blitzing a whole manga for real. I don't know. I still have faith. We'll get into it more when we get into the JJK part. But I don't think he's blitzing. I think he's just pacing it differently. Okay, yeah, I need to get some water, dude. Oh my god. Actually, yeah. Talk about One Piece YouTubers real quick. VR gone now. Ooh, somebody's trying to get me in trouble. Dude, I unironically feel like Inumaki right now a little bit. Oh my god. Oh my god. You know what I think it is? I think it's it's the spring allergies coming out. God. Oh, it has been brutal, chat. I had to turn on my AC last night, and I hadn't turned it on for months, and it was like breathing in a whole like an atmosphere of dust. I was, oh my god, it was so bad. Ugh. Anyway, so yeah, I think Gege's just gonna pace it differently. He's probably going to do flashbacks like in retrospect. So it's probably going to be character focused, sort of similar to the Culling games, but instead of flashback for the new players, it's going to be like a flashback of this time skip, which I would appreciate. I think as like an alternative. I would also like to see. You know, we'll get into it more when BR comes back for the JJK part, but to just wrap up Blue Lock really quickly, man, I really liked this chapter like so much because it was nice to get like a little change of pace. From this one match going on for so long, and the flashbacks with Baro and Snuffy. It was awesome. Loved it. Like 10 out of 10 stuff. Unironically, some of my favorite Blue Lock in the entire series, right? But I think this time, getting Isagi... Whoa, I just stopped being able to speak. What the fuck is going on with me today? Getting Isagi's perspective, like, because the way it works, right, is Isagi gets like an evolution. He kind of rides that wave for a bit, then he gets like reality checked in some way, and then he starts working on like the next evolution. And I think this is the first chapter of like that next phase where he's been riding the Metavision high for what, 10, 15 chapters? I don't know I don't remember the exact number since he got it. And now it's like, oh, okay, I need to adapt again. So I'm very excited about Isagi's new, super Metavision or whatever the fuck he does next.
Why has everybody telling you in chat to breathe?
Oh yeah, no, I started like coughing and choking like a motherfucker, dude. Like I was barely holding on.
He decided not to use his breathing techniques.
Bye, Kai. Have a good one.
Peace. Cool. Did you get it all out? Get all your blue luck talk?
Yeah. What would you give the chapter?
9 out of 10. I liked it.
Same.
Yeah.
All right. So, getting into JJK.
Okay. Do you want to do the book club thing first, or and then finish off JJK, or the way around?
Yeah, actually, let's do book club first, just so we can end on JJK. Cool. Yeah.
Sounds good.
So
I can just talk real quick. Breaking Bad.
Oh, real quick. Okay, sure.
Yeah. Pretty good so far. I mean, Walt he's losing me, bro.
It's only been 2 seasons.
He's losing me, bro. He's losing me. He's losing me. Skylar is also losing me bad. She's losing me bad. Yeah. Jesse. I feel like everybody's losing me, and I mean that like I'm still engaged. Obviously, I mean like their personalities are really weighing heavily on my soul.
That's
bro,
one way to put it.
Walt missing the birth of his child, bro. Like I get it. I really do get it, bro. I really do get it. You gotta chase the bag. I get it. I understand. Go for it. Grind out, right? But god damn, that's rough. Tough, right? Aside from that, Jesse, you're a fraud for not showing up there, bro. That's crazy. Bro did not put in any work. I'm worried. Like, it's the whole thing, bro. Jesse's kind of got me pissed off. I need him to get on the right track. I need him to lock the fuck in, bro. I mean, he definitely said he will, but
he's really testing you, huh?
It's really testing me, bro. Skylar's getting on every single one of my goddamn nerves, bro. It's like, yeah.
Can you have a refresher on where you're at, just so I don't spoil anything?
Okay. Basically, Jesse's girlfriend just OD'd and won't watch. That's the last thing I've seen.
Oh, okay. What'd you think of Jane's death?
That was rough, bro. That was rough. Walt. That's part of the reason I can't fuck with Walt like that, bro. That's grimy, and it was crazy. He just had that conversation about the daughters and stuff like that, and that's
Mm-hmm.
grimy, bro. That's so. Because I'm at first I was like, bro, is he freaking out? Does he not know what to do? I'm like, no, he does know what to do, but she knows about him, and he doesn't want to take that risk,
Um,
and
Interesting. That's how you thought
that's
about it.
I read it like that. I definitely read it like, or I guess read it. I perceived it like he he knew like he could just turn her on her side or whatever, at least so she's not like choking on her
Mm-hmm.
own, whatever. He could call somebody. He can do anything except sit there. But he just sat there. He made eye contact with her as she was fading away, and I felt the way I perceived it was like he did that because he can't guarantee that she will not one day blackmail him again, and he'd rather her die than run that risk. Um,
Interesting.
and I was like, wow, very, 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 very grimy,
That's
very, very grimy.
that's actually more big picture than what my interpretation was when I saw that scene. For me, it was just like a very petty. She's taking Jesse away from Walt,
Mm,
and Walt doesn't like losing control of Jesse.
mm,
To especially to this to this random woman, uh,
yeah,
and when she dies, he gets Jesse back, so to speak.
yeah.
So
I
that's
mean,
like
I
yeah.
definitely something there. To me, it just felt like he was saving his own ass, and having Jesse on his side is part of that. Don't get me wrong, but I do think a lot of it to me was like, if she's dead, there are no more loose ends. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's him getting rid of her without actually having to get his hands dirty at all. It was
Mm-hmm.
her own doing that did it, but like he could have helped. He could have done something. He'd have made an attempt, but he decided not to. And like obviously I get why whatever for your family supposedly, right? I believe it's for his family lesson. It's hard, it's tough because like the show really does um like reel you back in with showing that Walt does genuinely care about them,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um but it's like there are just these bits and pieces where it's like, no, I know you like do something about this you like doing. And it's like, I don't know. There's the pride thing. Um, there's all this shit like about him like being against charity to such a like obviously we've seen that, but it's like to such a fucking large extent, right? That he's like he doesn't just want to make the money for his family. He wants to make the money for his family and want them to know and acknowledge him for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He wants to be known as the one who saved his family, right? And it's like it's beyond just I think part of it is he wants to feel like a real man. I think that's the idea. I think that's the and I think you can't to him you can't really do that if the person who saved you wasn't you.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's but it goes
It's ego.
beyond
Like yeah.
yeah, it's ego. It just goes beyond like his family, and it makes a lot of the stuff he does harder and harder to justify with myself because it's like before I could let shit slide because it's like you know what I mean. You got to do that for Skylar. You got to do that for your baby. You got to do that for yourself. You got to do that for Walt. Right? Cool, cool,
Mm-hmm.
cool. Bet, bet, bet. I can get behind you. You know, I get it. You know, maybe I couldn't do it, but I understand the nobody's gonna convince me doing almost anything for your family is completely like not understandable, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you bring that ego into it, it's like now I'm looking at you sideways. You know what I mean? Now it's like now the horrible shit you're doing is not only just like it's not just it's not just shit that's horrible for your family, it's shit that's horrible for your ego, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're doing this for you more so than them at some point, right? And it's just getting harder and harder to watch. And I think in an intentional way, but it's getting harder and harder to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Skylar significant I want to acknowledge real quick, significantly more petty reason, I feel like,
Okay.
than like all of the shit Walt's doing. Her and Ted are pissing me off, bro. Her and Ted
That
like
is, I you said I didn't think it was.
It
Wow.
it's petty. It's to me, it's pettier. It's pettier than Walt like watching a woman die. You know what I mean? That's what I mean, right? That's how I'm gauging it, right? Like the like because Starla hasn't done anything yet, and I say yet because I'm like 95% sure she does something, right?
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't. They haven't done anything yet, but like it's everything about her mannerisms with him with her too. It's like the happy birthday scene, like when she's singing, I was
Yeah.
like, this is
That's.
so. I'm like, I'm so like I was looking at part of it was just like kind of cringing because like it's such a weird thing. It feels like whatever, right? It's a weird. But it's also like now you know what you're doing. 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 Um, and it's pissing me off. And Ted being there for I get it. Walter wasn't there, right? Skylar had to make a decision. I can logically piece this together in my mind. But him being there, like in the room with Skylar, still after the baby was born, I'm like, bro, get the step in, bro. Get out of here. Okay, cool. You drove her here. Peace. Bye. Hasta la vista. Like, what are you still doing here, man? And Skylar, like, entertaining it, going to work, even when she knows she probably shouldn't, I'm assuming, in order to be closer to Ted or whatever, is grinding my gears, man. It's getting me. It's fucking me up. It's making me upset. And it's so weird because, like, on one hand, I'm like, damn, well, I'm kind of mad at you for, like, looking at someone's daughter just die from an overdose, right? That you probably could have at least tried to help prevent, right? And it's like, I'm kind of mad at you, bro. I'm gonna have to look at you sideways. So I'm like, God, man, I'm really starting to hate you. Like, you're being very morally reprehensible, right? You're almost cheating. I'm like, hold on. I feel kind of stupid, but also, I don't know what to say, bro. Like, I also, at some point, I'm like, I also don't know. It's just what I'm feeling, bro. I can understand, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't hate Skylar as much, maybe. But what you want me to do, bro? Like, she's pissing me off. Like, what you want me? What you want me to not? I will say, though, like, the drama is still there.
The drama?
Gus is. I just mean like the tension is still there no matter what, right? I'm interested. I feel like Gus is gonna be. I hope Gus turns out to be something bigger. Like he's not just like this, whoever, like invisible guy behind the scenes all the time, right? I hope like we get to see because his actor's really fucking good. Like whenever he's on screen, I'm like I feel doubly locked in if that makes sense. I like his acting a lot, so I hope that he's either a new partner, an antagonist, some extra shit. Because I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I feel it's been good. It's been good. I'm looking forward to going even further though. But so far, I like where I'm at in Breaking Bad.
Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely like excited for you to get into season 3 a little bit more because that's my personal favorite season. And also, I think it's really when Breaking Bad starts to hit its stride.
For sure.
That being said, what's your overall like review of season 2? First, like as a score, and then in comparison to season 1, how you feel like has the show picked up or lost you or blah blah
blah. So as a score, I think I'd probably put it at a 9 out of 10.
Nice.
And I think I like it. I think I like it. It's tough. Let me look at what season 1 was. No, I gotta do season 2. Season 2 gave the resolution to Tuco. I gotta say season 2 is better. It's kind of tough because I like season 1 quite a bit. But I think I gotta go. Season 2 is better. Is better as a season overall.
Nice. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's a pretty good thing. You're right. You want it to keep getting better.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right. Any other closing thoughts or something you might not have figured out a way to like put in your review that you just want to like throw out there?
Not really. I'm kind of curious. I'm assuming Hank's gonna be a big deal sometime soon, but he's kind of been a
What's Hank doing?
Him and Marie, nothing. Like just like he shows up for like I guess like family stuff kind of, but he's literally not a factor where I'm at right now. He hasn't really had any part for a little bit. So I'm imagining that he's gonna pick back up steam in terms of what he does in season 3 or sometime. But I'm interested in kind of what he's been doing, what he's been up to, because I think Hank, for all of his assholishness, is still an interesting character. So I'm kind of curious how he comes back into the story.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, cool. So I guess my turn.
Yep.
All right. So I already told BR this, but I want to get into like the full like meat here with you guys. I had planned to read like another 10, 15 chapters for this book club of Call of the Night. I ended up reading about 30. And that's because the series just really picked up kind of out of nowhere, really expanded the vampire lore, how to kill him. It gave a detective, I think her name's Anko, right? Like
Mm.
a really good backstory with Nezuka, and then you get like Nezuka's backstory, and I was like, no way. This
Nazuna?
Nazuna, yes, thank you. Nazuna is just like, oh man, it's just so good. Just great stuff all around, man. Darker,
What I tell you, bro? I told
darker
you
than
it
I
had
thought
the
it would
pickup.
go.
I told you it had the pickup arc soon, bro. I told you last stream. What I say? What I say, bro?
Oh,
What I say?
dude, it was just like it was so fucking like intense when she was just like I don't even know if I could describe what the detective was gonna do to herself like on YouTube, but
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
that is not the angle I thought it was going. And then all the like nice little foreshadowing because I think the dad character right
Yep.
and forgive me if I'm wrong, right, I don't know yet, is the
Mm.
same guy who was in the hospital bed with fuck, I forgot her name, you know, the nurse, the black haired nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the guy who was like, "I'm about to leave that," and she was like, "Don't badmouth your wife" or something. And I think maybe he fell in love with that nurse, and it was like a whole like cyclical thing where uh Nazuna is like partially responsible. Oh man, I'm just like that's fucking crazy that it's so interconnected and nobody really knows. And I think Yamori getting shot and that whole thing about like getting a spike in love or gaslighting himself into like healing from a gunshot wound.
Yeah,
Oh my
bro.
god.
What I say, bro? What I say? I told you to let it cook. I just said, hold on, bro. Let it simmer. It's a low simmer, bro.
It is a
Let it
slow
ramp
simmer,
up
and it's been
and
ramping up.
cooked, bro. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, that's good. I'm glad you're enjoying it though. Glad you're
Uh,
enjoying it.
yeah, it's been really fun. I can't wait to see where it goes from here. Um,
Up.
let's go, let's go. I'm excited. But yeah, great Call of the Night batch this week. I think I have. Let's see, I'm on chapter 80 something.
You got like I think you got like 80 more chapters.
Yeah, I think I'm at like the halfway point of the series now, which is really really cool. By the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
this is also another small thing. I started reading it this week on the Viz app. I
Mhm.
just want to briefly touch on that. Oh, no, dude, I'm on chapter 96.
Nice.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I really vibed with this. All right, let's go.
Mm.
Yeah, I I just want to say it takes a true it's a true feat, right? For Kodansha to like have this app like in the background for this long, right? See like Viz and Shonen Jump success for as long as like they've been doing this thing and
Mhm.
go, nah, I could do it worse. It's strange
Bro,
to me.
I didn't even entertain the
Like,
Kodansha app thing,
but
bro.
why?
It's like,
Like what? Like why did everybody like assume it was going to be bad? It's crazy that they were right, first of all, right? But why was everybody so sure that it would be bad?
because there's been something similar before. Like an app that was supposed to like cover all of like weekly shonen manga, like all of that. I've seen it before, and it was a similar thing. Like, you earn shit to fucking read
It's like,
manga, and I'm
bro,
like, I'm not doing that.
yeah, it's like I don't want to play a fucking pachinko machine every time I want to like open up chapter of Blue Lock. And by
Hey,
the
bro,
way,
that's not very Hakari of you.
and
That's all I'm gonna say.
by the way, I just want to like walk you guys through this, right? It's so fucking insane that for Blue Lock, right? You know their stupid like points or token system.
Yeah.
Apparently, it would take me over $100 to get enough credits to read Blue Lock, which it's like they want. I, God, dude, it can't be this fucking bad. It simply can't be this fucking bad. But it is, and here we are.
Yep.
Shout out to Viz for releasing their better app a day earlier. That's some funny timing. That's some crazy timing.
They said, hold on, Kodansha about to release some shit. Nah, I can do it. I can do that.
Yeah,
I can do it better.
and they did.
Yep. Agree.
Just wanted to vent about that.
Bro had hopes for the Kodansha
I
app.
fucking did.
Everybody point
bro.
and laugh. Everybody point and laugh.
I don't know.
Hmm.
It's heartbreaking, man.
Arg. It's time to go on an adventure for the One Piece.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway, we've teased you guys long enough. Let's get into Jujutsu Kaisen, sorcery fight.
okay. Um, let's just first off, right? I bet everybody's wondering, what did you think of the chapter? Just general, like before we get into details, right? People hated it. I guess it was very controversial. What are your thoughts? You having read it for yourself, had some time to think on it. What you thinking?
Uh, just off rip.
Yeah, just offer like you don't have to give a number score, but just like what? How did you feel about it? What was the vibe to you?
Okay. There's two answers. In context of everything happening around the chapter, like the wider discourse, or like in a vacuum.
In a vacuum, right? You just read the chapter, fuck the discourse, right? You just read it. How do you feel about it?
Honestly, I liked it. It was perfectly fine. I didn't feel like anything was really lost, but that's because the impression I got was just we're going to see all the gaps filled in, like as the fights happen,
Hmm.
sort of in a similar way to how the Culling games introduced like backstories for certain characters, or they panned away for a chapter or two, like the Higuruma arc. Jesus.
Yeah. I guess I kind of get what you mean. Yeah. So good in a vacuum. Does your opinion differ when you think about it in context of all the discourse and stuff?
Yeah, I thought it was overblown. Because keep in mind, I was seeing discourse around the chapter like a day or two before the leaks dropped officially. So it was people, I think, going off of the like text spoilers.
Hmm.
And bro, it was a little depressing and heartbreaking to see people hit fucking Gege with the take away his pen, take away his ink. Like, you know what I'm. It was kind of disheartening. It's just like, damn, what did he do this time? And
Hmm.
I read the chapter and it's like, bro, let him keep his fucking ink. This is not the one. This is not the like. If this was the Yaga chapter, I get it, right? But it's not. Like, it's fine. I think giving up hope this quickly is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I want to say that this chapter alone is fine. The problem, and I want to briefly talk about it because I don't want to like mischaracterize a lot of the criticisms as like, oh my god, it's just crazy people being crazy because it's really not, right? So there's two things. One, this chapter to me would be perfect and just like really well liked if it was 5 or 10 chapters later, right? Literally take all of this content, right? Like, and you just push it into the future 10 chapters, right? Or 5 chapters, even if you wanna really like you wanna keep it like nice and brief, right? And then you give because we were talking about training arcs, right? We were talking about fucking reunions. We were talking about all that bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are not people who didn't think at all Gege was going to give us that, but it wasn't like kind of, but it wasn't really that, right? We were touching on important plot points that we need to move forward, and then we moved forward. That was about it, right? Oh, Sukuna got 20 fingers. He's essentially gained 5 fingers worth of power. Cool, move on, right? Kenjaku's on the move. Okay, move on, right? Yuji has this new technique. Okay, move on, right? Yuta and Inumaki are attacking. Okay, move on, right? Technique, blah blah blah. Okay, cool, move on. Gojo's about to leave. Okay, move on, right? Blah blah blah. It was very structural, it was very like that. Cool, fair, fine, makes sense, right? Well structured chapter, and I think when you just read it with the context of like, what does this chapter accomplish? I think it does. I think it does its job really well. The problem I think people have is that they weren't expecting this to be this. Like it was not in their minds supposed to be this. We were not supposed to go like if you think of it like this, right? Just for context, right? If you want to like try to get into the mindset of people, right? Gojo was unsealed halfway through last chapter. And now, at least from the way it's framed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gojo is about to fight Gojo about to fight Sukuna next chapter,
Mm-hmm.
right? I can very easily see why they're not even being why there being like maybe a chapter and a half difference in time between Gojo getting unsealed and him fighting Sukuna is crazy to some people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can completely understand that. I can completely sympathize with that. What I think personally is that a lot of people took problems and issues that they have had been building up over the course of Gege's like I don't know, you can say this past like 20, 30 chapter run and they put it all in this chapter, right? I tweeted out about it and I was like, listen, this chapter in a vacuum is completely fine. I think it's a
Mm-hmm.
fine chapter. You can argue that it's misplaced, and I would probably agree with that argument, right? The problem, right? The little bit where I get shaky here is you're levying a problem towards this chapter in which this chapter it isn't the thing that's failing you completely, right? I've had conversations with people. We're gonna get flashbacks. It's not really my preferred method. At
Mm-hmm.
least I would have rather seen a lot of stuff happen during the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me personally. It's not my preferred method, but it's kind of absurd to think that we're not going to get that content at all. We're gonna get some of it. Now, whether or not we're gonna get all of it that people want, I'm going to just place my bets down. I don't think we're going to, right? Everything that people want, I don't think is going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
but we are going to get a ton of content, right? We're going to see what Yuta and Maki were talking about. We're going to see Gojo talking to Maki and Yuta. We're going to see Hakari. We're going to see what Kashima was doing. We're going to see how Yuji developed his technique. We're going to see all that shit, right?
Right.
It is going to get shown to us. There is no doubt about that in my mind, right? We will see it. People were expecting to start to see it now, right? Now, what I can say is that the rushing, he's ending the manga, he's like just speeding past plot points. That general criticism, that broad stroke problem of Gege's pacing right now, right? To me, that's completely valid, and we can have a conversation about that, like anybody if we wanted to, right? I would, and I'll probably agree. Like I said this before, right? I am probably the biggest JJK fan that has the most criticisms, if that makes sense, right? Like so, like for someone that likes JJK as much as me, there's probably not many other people that have as many problems with the series as I do, right? Just
Yeah.
isn't the case. Like I have a ton of fucking problems with the series, right? I talk about a ton of problems I have with the series. But this chapter is not all of those problems. It's just not. It's just not all of those problems, right? This chapter maybe represents a fear that a lot of people had, which is Gege is speeding
rushing it,
towards the
yeah.
finish, right? And yeah, I can understand how like this chapter feels like that. You got to understand though that it's not even about like Gege. If there's one thing about Gege, right? It's like yeah, sure, he can say fuck nice character moments sometimes, right? But he's not going to ignore those important plot beats, right? In fact, a problem some people may have is that he just gets to them.
Mm-hmm.
Thing is, we don't have all the proper information now. So if there's one thing you can bet on, it's at least that Gege will give us the bare minimum information we will need to understand the story, right?
Yeah.
Which is enough of a bet for me to say that we will 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, get multiple flashbacks or multiple like look backs into what we were doing during this month and see what happened, right?
Yeah.
It is a 100%. It's impossible for that to not be the case.
For like to add on to that, right? The reason I think that's what's going to happen is because, to me, and this might be a bit of a controversial take in kind of the grand scheme of this discourse, but I kind of like it this way because it leaves room to hope. Whereas, and I know this is going to seem a little like long-winded, but please bear with me, right? If we had gotten to see like their entire training arc, their new power-ups, and like all their cards going into this fight, it feels like that leaves more room for despair when Sukuna or Kenjaku or fucking Urime finds a way to counteract it. And it's for them to win the fight, right? Or if you want to give the illusion that they have a chance of winning, it seems kind of counterintuitive to like have them do the back and forth of they got this ability, they go through the fight, they use the ability, it's like neutralized, and then they get like what, a new power up or some other workaround, or they just lose. And it's like you're talking about achieving sort of the same end result with maybe twice the amount of chapters it would take to get there, right? Whereas you can kind of go into this fight or this situation kind of like completely blind, learn about all these different upgrades and through flashbacks, like when the time is appropriate, to just add hype to them, right? And I think that has the recipe for some really cool, like dramatic double spreads, reveals, and on a like narrative level, it can at least trick me into thinking that they have a shot of winning, the sorcerers, I mean, right? Whereas I feel like if we know what they have in their cards going in, it feels like it's just set up for Sukuna and like Kenjaku and like the villains to like undercut it, and it's like a Yamamoto cut in half situation, right?
For sure. And I can see what you mean there. I'm of the opinion, right, that build up is everything, right? So I like so let's see. I'll give an example. Like I won't shit on another character. I'll give a personal example for something that hasn't happened, right?
Okay.
The reason I expect so much from something like Kashima versus Sukuna, I know a lot of people joke or seriously think Kashima's getting one shot, he's getting blah 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 blah, whatever, right? The reason, and I'll just put my full cards on the table. People can laugh, people can joke, whatever. That's cool.
I mean, I just had my
I
thing, so.
think, I think and want Kashimo versus Sukuna to be a better fight than Kashimo versus Hakari. Like, I want it to be a, from start to finish, I want that to be a better fight. And the reason I want it to be a better fight is because Kashimo's entire motivation from the start of his introduction, right, is to fight Sukuna. The first thing I think he says is, where is Sukuna?
Yeah.
Right? Immediately, I was like, damn, cool design, cool this, right. Okay, cool, sure. Yorozu's thing was to fight Sukuna too, right? Yeah, fair, for sure. Yorozu was in the chapter for a fraction of the amount of time that Kashima was in, and, right, she is a character that, like, it's sort of like this, right? Kashimo dying is not an issue. Kashimo dying, to me, is expected, right? So I want to put that on the table right now. I'm not expecting Kashimo to fucking win. I want to make that clear, right? But what I want is I want a good fight, because there are two things that have been built up to for a very long time, right? In terms of just chapter number. One, it's that fight just in general, and two, it's the added thing of Kashimo's a technique we don't know about, right? Now, Gege, you could say, oh, he's just going to subvert your expectations and then have him get one shot, blah, 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 blah. To me, I think that's boring, right? Like, I'll put it in this context, right? You could, like, subverting expectations is not always a good thing, because some expectations need to be met, right?
Right.
I think we can all agree Gojo versus Sukuna has to be a good, titanic, like, fucking amazing fight, because if Gojo or Sukuna get fucking obliterated, it is ass, right?
Yep.
It's just bad.
Like,
but the reason I say that is because we have these expectations, and these expectations have been made extremely clear, right?
And in the entirety of, like, almost the stakes of the story rely on the outcome of this fight. Like, if Gojo beats Sukuna, for example, right? Kenjaku's death is it's a non-subject, right? Like it is a given that the second Sukuna is, like, dead, Kenjaku, like, it's not even, and I don't even mean this to exaggerate, right? It would be a waste of ink to show Gojo killing Kenjaku, because the like the second Sukuna, like he was bodyguarding Kenjaku almost, right? Like, it's not a fight, right? So
I mean, it is the case, right?
Yeah.
It's like me versus an ant, right?
Yeah.
Do we really need? Does that need to be displayed?
Exactly.
Do we need a pay-per-view fight for that? No, right?
Yeah, and on the
one
other
shot,
hand,
bye.
If Sukuna beats Gojo, then it's like, that's it for everybody. Like that's like end of JJK, like curtains, I guess, right? Everybody dies, right? And it's strange,
So,
right?
okay,
Where like, sorry, it's almost like Gege would need to subvert both expectations in some way to keep the story going to some kind of character specific conclusion, right? Like, how do you wrap up the stories of Yuji, of Yuta, like, of all these different people in a way that's it can't function without the outcome of this fight being something that is not a wash on either side. Yeah.
One of them has to come out nearly dead, and then the other side has to capitalize. Like, that's what Kenjaku says too. He's like, they're like Yuta, Maki, Hakari. Their hope is to kill. If Gojo loses, right, their only hope is to jump Sukuna and kill him immediately after he fights Gojo. No time for recovery. They need to immediately, like, they need to take the fatigued, injured Sukuna, right, and fucking end him. Right, and I'm assuming Kenjaku probably is of the same mindset. If Gojo comes out of that fight alive, right, fatigued, barely alive, whatever, Kenjaku probably understands that he needs to immediately pounce, right? That there is going to be no better opportunity than to kill Gojo. And so I say all that to say this, right? Build up is important. So the reason I feel like I care about that training arc being front loaded a little bit is because I kind of want to know what these characters, maybe what their struggles are, what these, like, okay, where is Yuji failing in his training with his curse technique, right? What is Yuta planning? Even if you don't tell me everything, because you don't have to tell me everything, right? But give me a little bit of what Yuta's planning, right? Oh, I've been collecting curse techniques. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. I got 5 or whatever. Let me find one more. Cool. You're building this shit up, right? It's like, it's why these technique reveals, I think, are so, they're so pressing for people. It's like, oh, I want to know if this character has a domain, blah, blah, blah. Because these are all aspects that are like very subtly built up from the background. And while I do think Gege is going to cover all of this he's going to cover a lot of this content in flashbacks. To me, right, this is just a personal thing. I'm not trying to tell anybody they have to feel this way. But for me, there is always going to be something that's lost when you don't front load that content, right? When you don't front load some of the, what's the word I'm looking for? Some of the buildup, it just results in something that is hollow relative to what it could have been, right? It can still be cool. It can still be dope. Don't get me wrong, but it will be hollower than what its full potential was. And to me, that's always going to be like, it's always going to be rest in peace to that buildup or whatever. So I can understand people's problems because Gege has had that sort of like go 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 pacing about him, and a lot of cool things that I think people would have liked to see have been left on the cutting room floor. Understandable. This chapter is not. It's not even that you can't even argue that this chapter is exemplary of that. Maybe if you want to, you can, but it's not. The amount of vitriol towards it is just too much, right?
Yeah.
There is more. Your problem is much more general or systemic with Gege's writing than it is of this individual chapter.
Yeah, and I would tend to agree 100%, especially I think because a lot of people had this knee-jerk reaction. I think King Naja's super chat kind of addresses this, which by the way, King Naja, thank you for the 5. This chapter is a victim of spoilers clouding everyone's judgment. Folks saw Gakuganji with Gojo and called Gege a fraud. 2 things. 1, it is admittedly funny to see Gakuganji there next to Gojo as if like he wasn't like one of the people, he was one of the higher ups saying unsealing Gojo is a crime. That's all I'm saying.
And bro killed Yaga.
Yeah,
kind of crazy, kind of that.
Yeah, and also he wants to kill Itadori. Whatever. He wanted to kill Itadori, but when he was Sukuna's
bigger problems.
Right, bigger problems. Right. Let's put that to the side for now. But it's just the panel was striking. It was kind of funny. We can get to that later, right? But I think the main problem is this is not a chapter that lends itself well to spoilers because of just how many panels were kind of without dialogue, right? Like there were, like a lot of things were left unsaid and just left to the art. Like everybody high-fiving Gojo on the way out, his kind of expression as he was coming down the stairs, the infinity being up, like a lot of the stuff. And when the dialogue was there, right, it was also mysterious. Like we can get into the obvious one, which is the Yuji soul swap thing.
Yeah.
Like there were so many layers to this chapter that just like that lend itself to other chapters of explanation just for each part of it, right? Like you can have one of Gojo reuniting, of him training Yuta or Hakari to improve their fucking barriers or something, right? Like there are so many things you can do like kind of like after the fact, but at the same time there's so many things that you just don't need to include, like
yeah. And I agree. I just feel like, so like for example, right, something that could have been like cut completely is like Sukuna's fingers retrieval. We didn't need to see that. Like I think Arame just off screening that being there, cool, fair, fine, good choice, Gege.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like Gojo meeting his students again for the first time, we'll probably see it. But to me, and I will stand by this, it's kind of crazy to not let us see that.
It
like
is
to
kind
me,
of crazy,
it's kind of wild, right? For them, it's been a long, hard-fought journey. For us, it's been 3 fucking years, right? The first people we see Gojo, and this is something I just realized, the first people we see Gojo interact with outside of the villains are Ijichi and Shoko.
Yeah. Which,
and it's like
Shoko,
I get it. I get Shoko. I get Shoko a lot. Ijichi, sure, whatever. But it's like those really.
Bro, I can't believe Ino happened before Itadori. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ino's still fucked up from that beating too, bro.
Yeah.
19 days was not enough to recover.
Yeah, Toji did not. He was not kind to him.
So unnecessary, bro. So unnecessary.
And like, look, I'm not saying this chapter isn't without its flaws, right? Obviously it has, but I think the outrage is misplaced. Like this level of outrage is misplaced for a chapter like this. You know, it's not a Yaga chapter. It's not a Yuki chapter. It's I don't even think it'd be like it necessitate for a Yorozu chapter, just because I don't think the expectations were as rampant for that part of the story. But I think for this one, it's like Gege. Okay, people expected so much, and Gege is arguably mostly to blame for that. But there's just no way he could have fit it all in the manga in this one chapter, because you need to do 3 things, right? You need to show how they spend the month, you need to show some kind of reunion, and you also need to show this one's hard to describe. It's like what the side important people are doing, if that makes sense. Like what is Yuta doing? What is Maki doing? What is Hakari doing? What is Kenjaku doing? Right? And the fact that Gege still managed to fit this much into this chapter, to me, is very impressive. Because you got to see how Sukuna was quote unquote powering up, right? And you got like a little bit of a lore expansion with Gojo, possibly having the last finger which is like so in character for him, and I just love that moment. It's like, yeah, wait,
Mm.
why wouldn't Gojo have the last finger just to mess with the higher ups? That's
Oh,
fucking
they
perfect.
never you guys
Yeah,
can never kill Yuji.
yeah,
Damn, you
that's
never found the last finger.
fucking perfect, right? Love that. Um, like genuinely love that. Love the inclusion of that.
Mm.
And for Kenjaku, it's like, yeah, he was there playing on a fucking SNES because he couldn't leave Sukuna's side.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
Yeah.
the longer I thought about it, ever since chapter 221, I just want to say it's crazy that Kenjaku absorbed Tengen and he was like, nah, still no, like with Gojo, like,
Yeah.
bro, what the
I
fuck,
mean,
dude? Like, what will it take?
But what is Tengen gonna do?
Honestly, like neutralize Gojo's domain, probably, right? Because that's barriers and all.
Gojo don't need a fucking domain and beat Kenjaku's dumbass.
But you know
Because
what I mean?
Kenjaku's barrier is open too. Like he opens it, Gojo's gonna walk out. Okay, yeah, cool. Whenever you're done with that, I'm gonna beat your ass. So, yeah, keep that shit up. Whatever.
But like it's just funny, right? But like you see that Kenjaku's just like stalled. Like he just can't do anything. You know, he's not there like like planning this Machiavellian like, oh yeah, Sukuna, this is what we're gonna do. This is the game plan, right? No, Sukuna's on his ass, right? Just waiting for Urime to get the fingers back because that's all he needs, right? And Kenjaku's there because the fuck he can't leave Sukuna's side for a second, and Sukuna's certainly not gonna help him go anywhere. He's like, nah, bro, I don't feel like going. He's like, well, shit.
Yeah, no thanks. Well, okay, fair. I guess I gotta stay here. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like I guess Mario it is then, right?
Yeah.
And the last thing is this this body swap thing, and you get to see like a serious side of Gojo, and like it is to me more impressive what Gege did this chapter, how much he was able to fit in, than it was disappointing that he didn't get in everything, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So you said a lot of stuff that I agree with, and I feel like okay, so there's kind of a line here, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I think it's impressive what he did. I actually just period, right? I want to put a period at the end. I think it's impressive what he did in this chapter, right? I will follow up and say this, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is the case. I also think it is fair to say this impressive thing should not have been done right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Or at
let's
the very
say
least, split into more than one chapter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so let's say he gave Ino a fucking double page spread. It was like the most beautiful spread in the manga, right? I would say that's impressive. I would say that's cool that you did an impressive thing in an inappropriate time, right? That's how I would say it, right? Like, yes, cool. This is something that I think from a writer's perspective is like very impressive, very hard to do, and I think Gege should get props for being able to do that. However, I kind of believe this, and I definitely can give credence to people who believe that even though he did this impressive thing, it's like, okay, cool, but you did it at the wrong time. You spammed, bro. What are you spamming? What are you spamming like fucking sprint for? You know what I mean? Like, slow down. That's kind of how I feel about it.
So let me ask you this, right? Is there a shot? Because I kind of have my hope in this, right? Is there a shot that subsequent chapters will elevate the quality of this one, especially like for rereads and stuff?
100%. Yeah. I mean, I 100% think that's going to be the case. My thing is just I know who I am as a reader. I know what I like as a reader, particularly on a weekly read, right? Maybe if I was binge reading, this wouldn't bother me as much. I just know I like the build up front loaded. It makes those moments hit harder for me personally. So really, no matter what, he can't go back in time, right, and front load the build up. You know you know what I mean? So for me, there will always be like a damn, what if he did it like this sort of thing? But I can also acknowledge, I can put that to the side and be like, no, it's fine, right? He can retroactively make this chapter better, right? He can retroactively make this chapter better, and not only can he, I think he will. I think that's going to be the case. That's kind of how I feel about it. Yeah, that's about it. Seriously though, when Miyu finna cook, as soon as Kenjaku pulls up.
Yeah, and now that we've gotten into the Miyu part, I think we did miss a super chat. Holofy Tenses on Getsu, thank you for the 2. It is fast and underwhelming, but not finished. Yeah, I think that's kind of sums up the chapter in a nutshell. I will say, I don't think it's underwhelming. I think it was like whelming. Yeah, it was whelming, quick, and like you're not at a loss of information, but you are at a loss of satisfaction, if that makes sense.
I think that's a pretty good way to put it.
Yeah. Also, I'll be right back.
Now, you mind if I gloat real quick?
Do I need to be here for it?
Huh?
Do I
Yes, you do.
Okay, quickly.
All right. I remember the other week you said that Kenjaku would body high diff, right? Kashimo, Yuta, Hakari, and Maki. And this chapter, he says otherwise.
Bro,
and I just read that and I was like, I had to reread it when Viz came out. I was like, hold the fuck on. This Gege just said, Kreams, you're wrong.
bro,
You love to see it, bro.
Fucking. I don't think Gege understands, right? Whenever Kenjaku says some shit like this, or whenever he has dialogue like this, you make the Yuki fight worse. Like, do you have? It's like, oh yeah, bro. If these people who are generally weaker than Yuki individually square up with me, it's over. It's fucking. I'm done. I'm cooked. I'm finished.
Hey, bro. Hey, don't say that about Yuta. Don't say that about Maki. Hakari, yeah, you can say he's weaker than Yuki. Fine, right? But don't say that about
don't say
that about Monster A
agenda.
and Monster fucking B. It's not about hating, bro. It's just one guy has to gamble to get his power. The other two have it all the time. That's all I'm saying. Anyways,
it's so
right?
fucking annoying. Like,
Bro,
what can he do?
Bro said, Kenjaku really said, nah, bro. If those three pull up on me, I'm cooked. And you told me if we added Kashimo to that lineup, he would still win, bro.
Bro, where is Kashimo, by the way?
Bro, listen. I think that's gonna be one of the things where we see retroactively. I think he's gonna be one of the things we see retroactively. Someone put the fear of God into my heart, right? I've seen this all over, like Kashimo got off screen, right? I promise you, right? Kashimo getting off screen will genuinely make things like Gege cannot write if Kashimo gets fucking off screen. I'm so serious, bro.
Me? That's crazy.
Like Gege is actually incompetent. If Kashimo getting off screen makes my fucking brain hurt, bro. Anyways, back to gloating, right? I just know that Gege knows real ball. He knows how to fucking power scale. Kenjaku is getting waxed if Yuta, Maki, and Hakari pull up on him, bro.
Insane.
He's getting waxed, bodied,
bro, what is
choke slammed.
Bro, Kenjaku is in the body of a special grade sorcerer with fucking Tengen as one of his spirits. Crazy cursed energy techniques.
Guess what, bro?
Oh my
Guess what,
God.
bro? Yuta Akotsu. Maki Zenin.
So like,
that other guy. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to say?
Why is he like this?
He didn't actually say that, but Agenda's got to... Bro, let me read to you what he says, right?
I'll be right back.
Yeah, for sure. The rest of Jujutsu High's main fighting force, including Akotsu, will be busy with you two today. Their only chance to defeat Sukuna would be immediately after he has fought Gojo, which will leave me free to do as I please. Bro, he's and guess what? It's not even vague. The people that he's talking about are shown on screen or shown on the chapter visually. He thinks of 3 people and he's like, because they're busy, I can move freely. If they weren't, I couldn't move freely. That's like the obvious implication there. Bro, say the other guy. Damn, y'all let me say the other guy? Damn, that's crazy. He did say that. Like, bro, once again, if you guys can't read, you can't understand, implications. I don't know what you want me to do, right? He fucking said, right? I can't move freely if those 3 are out there. Bro is scared. He's terrified. Bro is shaking in his boots. Bro cannot do shit. He said, damn, Yuta's on patrol? I gotta hide. I gotta run. That's all I'm saying, bro. Kenjaku's a bum. You heard it here first. Oh, can't wait for the Yuta, Maki, and that other guy masterclass, bro. Can't wait for them to pack his dumbass up. Yuta and Hakari beat Kenjaku in 2v1 for sure. Maki there too. Wash. That's what I'm saying, bro. Kenjaku's gonna be mad when he gets his arm cut off by Soul Splitter, and that shit just won't grow back. He's gonna be real mad. He's gonna be real mad. He'll be like, damn, where'd my arm go? And RCT not working. Chad's really trying to tell me he didn't say that. I'm like, bro, what do you mean? No, bro, I can't leave Sukuna's side if those 3 are out there, bro.
What's up?
I can't do what I want, bro. Yuta's out there looking for me. Yeah, he's scared. Yeah, bro, looking around the corner, he said, is Yuta there? Is Maki there? That gambling addict there? Oh, shit.
It honestly, like, I don't get it, right? Because, like, at one point, like, the first thing Kenjaku ever said about Yuta was, who? Huh? He's washed. I can, like...
Guess what? He said that to fucking Gojo to psych him out. Bro did not believe that. Bro's a liar. Bro's a fucking bro. Nah, bro. You as soon as he has to like fucking actually mean the shit he says, he's like, nah, bro. Actually, I lied, bro. Actually, you're kind of tough for real, bro. Listen, what? He's getting folded, bro. Wrapped up, folded neatly like a fucking lawn chair. Cooked.
Yeah, I don't. It's crazy because at the same time he's saying he's going to kill the rest of the Calling Games players, and it's like, so who are you going after exactly? Like Higuruma? Like
I think Higuruma, Hazanoki. He's gonna probably be going after like Yuji. He's probably gonna be going after like everybody that is Golden Game player that I think at least not described in the main visual, right? Kenjaku is going to be hunting, right? I think that's the intention because he has to do it to end the Calling Games, right? So he's just trying to get a little head start, being a busy bee or whatever. Yeah, bro. Bro's getting cooked.
So you want to start breaking down like the different parts of the chapter?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Damn, that's right. I think you can't read. That's unfortunate. I'm praying for you.
So let's start with do you want to do the Yuji one first? Because that's oh wow, great timing. Oh my god. Sleeping Danger, thank you for the 14. Do you think Yuji swapped bodies with Gojo? Okay, so the Yuji soul swapper thing, let's recap really quickly. It started off with seemingly Yuji and Kusakabe training, and Yuji, lays out Kusakabe, and he's like, what did he say? You need to get better, Itadori? And it was like, huh?
Yeah, it's about time for you to handle this or get a handle on this, Itadori. And then he says, yes, sir.
Yeah.
So like the exact translation is like, I think it's like Osu or whatever, and it's like it's something that Yuji's the only one who like answers affirmatively like that in the series, right? So it's like double. It's like a play on. It's not a play on words, but it's sort of like it doubly lets you know that is Yuji, right? That's the way he talks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the way he like responds to that type of shit. So yes. He just switched with them, getting a hang. It's very interesting to see Yuji be getting his ass. Yuji? Yeah, it's very interesting to see Yuji getting his ass beat, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm confused.
Yeah, because we don't know if it's like we don't know if it's a skill issue or if it's like it could just be that Kusagabe's got the advantage because he's in Yuji's body. It's maybe it's.
But like he's like getting. So I think the getting good at it thing is interesting because it's like.
It implies they've been at this for a minute with like
and it implies they've been at this for a minute, and it's like, okay, so what aspect? It's clearly not just fighting, right? Because I think he's. I think it may be controlling other people's bodies properly. I can see that being the case, right? Like he may not be. It may be a matter of like you've watched Dragon Ball, right?
Yeah.
It may be like a Captain Ginyu situation where he's like, yeah, no, I have your body, but like, damn, I'm using this shit at like 40% efficiency. Right.
I see.
So it could be something like that.
So
I could very easily see him being like, okay, yeah, cool. Listen, that's not it, bro. That's not the max I can do. We're gonna need you to cook some shit.
So the thing that interests me, right, is to what end are they doing this, right? Has he been? Because the theory I've seen just throughout the feed and everything is Yuji's essentially going up a power ladder, and he has been for the month. So starting with what's his name? Glasses guy. Oh my god, I just said his name earlier. Ijichi, then going up to Ino, and then going up to Kusakabe, and then ultimately ending with Gojo to control him. But the thing I don't get, right, is while this, like, it's plausible, I don't necessarily see the purpose.
No, I don't see the point.
Yeah.
Kusakabe seems fit to train Yuji in combat, and that's what I think he's doing.
Because So what do you think is going on, right? As far as like the Itadori thing and all this.
I mean, I think it's. I mean, he probably read the book about Yuki, and he probably helped him manifest his own technique or something of that sort, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has an awareness of the soul already. It could be an extension of that, right? For sure. As for like training with Kusakabe, I think Kusakabe is probably just Kusakabe doesn't have a technique, right?
Mm-hmm. And he's been stated to be like strong, weirdly.
Yeah, I mean, Mei just says it's funny that Mei's here too. Mei just says that Shibuya Yuji is about as good as Kusakabe is.
Yeah,
right?
which is
like
insane.
she makes note that she just makes note that you being like this without a technique means that it puts you like not Kusakabe is in a similar dimension to you. You're like Kusakabe.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Like you're measuring up to him, and it's like, and then you see him block the Uzumaki, and it's like, hold on.
Damn. Huh.
Hey,
So I think there's this, right. You have to think of Kusakabe as like as a basically an easy person to practice with if you think about it, right? So
mm,
like with techniques and shit like that, that's more intricate, right? Cool. Who is the best person to try level 1 soul swapping on than somebody with no technique that just has like basic curse energy manipulation like everybody else?
mm-hmm.
Probably Kusakabe, because everybody else that we know of besides Miwa has a curse technique, and Kusakabe seems more, excuse me, as a teacher, he seems more like skilled in the act of like teaching hand to hand or close quarters combat or whatever. And I think
Mm.
that's probably what he's doing. Him and Yuji are just like, your goal is to be, switch into my body or do whatever you're doing, right? And be good enough in combat to beat me, right? Like you basically need to show a aptitude for switching into somebody's body and like using their abilities properly. That's how I think about it.
So it wouldn't. I don't think it's necessarily to take over Gojo as I've been seeing. I think what it is sort of forcibly putting Sukuna back in his cage.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I think. That's exactly what I've said. Like, I think he wants to get to Sukuna, and I think he wants to force him into his body,
yeah,
to
and
save Megami.
yeah, I
I can see
think
that.
yeah, I think the very nature of like what Yuji is like in relation to Sukuna just lends itself to like doing so without condition. Like I think if Yuji can figure out a way to get Sukuna back in him, then
Hmm.
it's basically a wrap because Sukuna's never getting out.
Yeah, no, I agree. Um, Especially because all the fingers are done. I think that is sort of the end goal. That is the win con. That's how you get Megami free. That's probably, I don't know, something to that
Yeah.
effect for sure. Um,
It. I
you-
am. I think as far as what this section with Yuji has given me in terms of what I'm looking for now, it's a confirmation that Yuji is potentially getting a technique, what that technique is, how he implements it, for what reason, and ultimately how this kind of reconciles with Yuji's like desire to die and him as a character.
mm, yeah.
Um, that being said, I think a good catalyst for this is sort of an explanation on like what Yuji is. I remember rereading the part where Sukuna just like freshly got Megami's body, and it was like the chapter, I think it was 214 or 215, where he was like trying to figure out how Yuji was as strong as he was, and he said Kenjaku's a sick bastard. He's from that time, so I am
Mhm.
curious what exactly the ingredients were to make Yuji, and like why it's
Yeah, the
perverse.
ingredients,
Yeah,
bro. That's funny. I see some people saying like, "Oh, isn't he teaching him simple domain?" He definitely can. Like, I think that'd be useful. The
yeah,
thing is, you just have to ask yourself, what about them fighting teaches you simple domain?
yeah,
Like, what makes you think that that's like those two? Like, don't get me wrong. I think Kusakabe can and probably should be teaching him that, right? But
yeah.
it doesn't like why would they just then throw hands? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and it wouldn't make sense for for Yuji to the Itadori mastering line panel wouldn't
Yeah.
make sense either. I will say it would be hilarious if he was teaching him new shadow style and he was like, "All right, Yuji, here's your sword, go off."
Yeah. I mean, we've seen Yuji with a sword in like I think one colored page, and I,
Yeah,
I remember a lot of people saying that was like, yeah, Kusakabe going to be a sword master confirmed.
yeah.
Well, something similar to that.
Yeah. There was definitely tease for it during the Yuta fight between him and Yuji, where he was just like, "You're focusing too much on my katana," and he was using the hunter's knife, and he was just like, "Oh, I'm not
Mhm.
ready for this yet." So it's like,
Yeah,
is he ready now? Or
yeah,
but it seems like a
yeah.
stretch, to be honest.
I mean, listen, bro. I think Yuji will get plus 100 cool points if he grabs a sword. So, I think he should. I think he should.
Yeah, you're very
Um,
predictable, bro. We get it. You like swords.
Bro,
Yeah.
what do you want me to do? Like, just the coolest thing.
Uh,
What else do you want me to do?
Another
Um,
interesting this is just purely impressive to me. I completely forgot about this until I'm looking at the chapter. Gege found a way to use an entire page on a Yuta Inumaki conversation, and also like explain some lore, which is just crazy to
oh,
me because it was only
yeah,
one page. Like
yeah,
that's so cool from beginning to end. Like you get not
yeah.
only confirmation that Yuta can understand like past the rice ball ingredients,
Hmm.
but it explains what happened to his arm, him not telling Yuji, and him using it as an excuse to like the higher ups to get approved as Yuji's executioner. Uh,
Mhm. It
eh,
also gives context on his technique, probably
yeah,
on the like because the thing is, so I was talking with Liv about this, right? And I
mm,
was like, you know what would be crazy, right? If when Yuta lost Rika, he lost all of the techniques he stole, and the only reason he still has cursed speech is because like he consumed the remains of Inumaki's arm, like the
Insane,
leftovers,
dude.
if you will. The reason I say that, right?
Mm,
The reason I say that is because in the I think it's the TCB translations,
mm. I
he's
don't
like, "Thank
disagree,
you
by
for
the way.
letting me." Yeah, he's like, "Thank you for letting me borrow it. I'll be putting you to work," right? And I don't think he means Inumaki. I think he literally means his technique.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of he's like, "Thank you for letting me have your technique. I'll be making sure that it's useful," sort of deal. Which makes
Mm,
me think, right? It's sort of like consumption may be a requirement, and we automatically thought, oh, he just still has cursed speech because he had it before, but it's like, no, it's very possible that he lost it, and because of Sukuna, he gained it back. Obviously in order to go in the cooling games.
mm.
But yeah.
Interesting. Um. Okay. You want to pick the next thing we talk about? There was a lot this chapter, man.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about another elephant in the room, right?
Hmm?
There's just three of us now, but there's one who isn't fully recovered. Who the hell do you think that is?
My knee jerk was that it was some kind of because going off the scans, right? Was that it was a mistranslation referring to Nanami or something, or it was like a weird joke about him being half there by the end.
Jesus.
Yeah. I was like, that's just a little weird to just kind of phrase in this like roundabout way. But I think the Viz translations are a bit more logical, a bit more tame. So it's probably Nobara, if I'm being optimistic.
Yeah. Is there anybody else who was injured or MIA that that we know Shoko should probably be she should be counting on? Like, are there any people we can think of in Shibuya that were taken out? Yeah, then that was actually another thing. We were not we. I don't know why I just gave some credit to some random fucking person. Geto was something I not only saw on Twitter, but I was talking once again to Livo when I read the chapter. I was like, I feel like
oh, that's even
with the soul
darker.
with the soul book. Well, the way I perceive it is like Shoko wants to get Geto back, and like that's what she's talking about. Like over the soul book shit. Like that has been sort of, oh, there's one of us who isn't fully there. It could be referring to Geto. Obviously Nobara, I think, is like the obvious pick. I can't think of if there's anybody else that would be like somebody that we need to bring back or someone that is confirmed not dead. Miwa lost an arm against Sukuna, possibly talking about her. What are you talking about?
I don't remember that happening. I was like, did bro just gaslight me into?
Yeah, what? No, bro. Like, Sukuna could not take an arm from Mew if he wanted to. Let's be real.
God, stop. Anyway, yeah. So going through the rest of this, do you subscribe to the Geto theory?
I think it's pretty plausible.
More or less than Nobara.
I mean, Nobara seems like the easy option, so normally I would say Nobara is more plausible, but I don't really know. Gege doesn't like fucking doing plausible shit. I'll say if I had to put money on it, I'd probably say Nobara more than Geto. That would just be my take.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Ino showing up to talk about Naname?
Honestly, the first time I read it, I just thought it was like a in Naname's memory kind of thing, just on a character level, because they both knew him, and he was important to Ino, and I guess he was important to Gojo. And they were just kind of talking about that. And then I think it was Liv actually who tweeted out the panel next to the one with the granny lady who said she could only shapeshift if use a corpse. Which I thought was just dark because it would imply that somebody shapeshifted into Ino, like for this conversation.
The granny did.
Like maybe like that's the thing, right? Is she referring to
the granny's
shapeshifting?
Fucking dead.
Yeah, is she? Because like it kind of implies that shapeshifting is kind of a common like a neutral technique, like basic barriers and stuff that somebody can just use if they fulfill the conditions. But I think it was like her innate technique, which is why I'm not fully convinced. So I really think it's like a very simple. He was just there to talk about Nanami.
I don't know.
And
it feels like
it literally
has to be.
By the way, I mean, the line is literally, has something to say about Nanami,
Sure, but I don't think it has to just be like, hey man, I like not. I think I think it would be super fucking weird, right? If we get an innocuous, pointless conversation about Nanami instead of a conversation or even hinting at a conversation with like characters that are still alive that matter. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It would be, like I feel like it's more something like I feel like might need to pass something on, something to that effect, right? That Nanami left with him or some shit. It just feels like just oh man, let's talk about it. Just feels like such a useless thing to mention, you know what I mean? Especially for like Ino's not like a character. I know some people are like goat whatever, but outside of the fringe sides of the fucking JJK community, nobody gives a fuck about Ino, right?
Yeah,
Like I doubt Gege is like fiending to get him back in the manga for no reason. Um,
man.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's not really much to say. And has the Sans technique, dude. Creams def wasn't saying Granny. Agami didn't shift into Yeah, I wasn't saying.
Let's see.
Jesus,
You
dude.
might use the Seance technique to tap into Nanami's ratio technique. Yeah, bro, that's gonna be real fucking effective. That's gonna be real sick when he
Yeah.
like runs up on Sukuna to ratio him and then just gets obliterated. That's gonna be hard.
Yeah. Also, I don't know. Is Nanami the kind of guy like is he so indisposable for this fight that it's like no we got it he'll shift the
I mean,
tides of
no.
battle.
I mean, no. I don't think Nanami would make it. At least, maybe if
Right,
Nanami
they
came
got
back
a
with some
better shot
fucking.
of trying to summon Toji again, if we're being real.
Yeah, on it, bro. Listen, Gege, Gege. People may think he got old, but if you want to bring back Toji again, I'm so fucking down.
Yeah, I mean he was already dead, right? He can't super die.
Yeah, I'm so down, bro. If you want to bring him back again, I promise you I'm down. I promise you I'm here for it, bro.
Bro, on it, no, there is, unironically, there's only one right answer, only one to use a seance technique for, and I hate to say it,
Fucking who?
Yuki.
Yeah, I'd bring Toji back first, personally. I do
Oh,
not give a fuck about that bum.
dude, like, all right, Yuki, just in
Shit,
case.
and the problem is, like, I don't even know if you could find Yuki's remains because her dumbass, like, absorbed herself into a black hole. She might not
Yeah,
even exist anymore. She
yeah.
might have got, like, jet engine to the other side of the universe. No
Oh,
hope of being revived.
then honestly, bro, I don't know. Learn some kind of soul manipulation thing and give Toto his technique back.
Honestly, Toto being back, bro, that would work.
It's
That
yeah,
could
actually,
work. I could
it
I could
actually
see Toto
would.
coming back.
Oh my god, if he joined Yuta, Hakari, and Maki in their fight against post Gojo fight Sukuna, oh my god, that'd be devastating.
He just needs to sit back and just switch them. He doesn't even
Hmm.
have to.
Yep.
Yeah, just go, just cook. Bring back Tengen.
No.
Bro,
Let
no. He's not even. He's in control of Geto. I don't even
yeah.
know. I don't even know
Also,
if that works.
like, bro, Tengen's had his
He had his
eons.
time. He
Yeah.
had his time, bro. He doesn't need to be brought back.
He honestly, death is long overdue for Tengen. Just not even like maliciously. Just like it's crazy that he's been around this long.
Seeing Toji and Maki team up, tag team someone would be beyond hype. That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
bro.
Also, I just thought of
That's what I'm
something
saying.
so fucking
Mm.
freaky. It. I realize, right? If everything just stopped right now, like let's just say Gojo and Gojo, my god, Sukuna and Kenjaku was just like, fuck it, we're leaving the planet or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
God, dude, that is just gonna irreversibly like the world is already so fucking different. You're talking now about cursed energy being the norm worldwide because Tengen's barriers aren't there to keep it in Japan anymore. So you'd unironically get like closer to a Chainsaw Man kind of existence where it becomes like integrated into like government, like daily life, all this shit.
Hey, bro. If Sukuna's gone, I think we're chilling. I think Sukuna and Kenjaku leaving the planet, and that being the case is like actually just we just got to take the win.
Yeah, like, but I'm just saying, right? Like that is they've already won as far as I'm concerned. Like if the metric was villains' plans succeeding, then bro, everything now is just like icing on the cake.
You're a funny guy. You know.
Bro, the U.S. government now has like dead soldiers in Japan and confirmation of an alternative energy source. All I'm saying is, if they were
What are they
just
gonna
like,
come over there and get their ass kicked again? That's gonna be sick.
the barriers are down, bro. They're just like, all right, we'll bet we're gonna get cursed energy too. We're gonna wait a bit. We're gonna fucking train our sorcerers, or alternatively, they could just like. I'm not even gonna make that because it's not.
Gojo, listen. Gojo's back. They can't do anything to Japan at least. Gojo's back. He's their protector. If America wants some fucking their super sorcerer soldiers, all right, fair enough, right? Go ahead and make you a Gojo. You know, we've tried, right? It's tougher than it looks. Good luck, man.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. We talked about Kenjaku's cowardice.
It was a certified bum.
Yeah. Let's actually get to the meat of the chapter, which is Gojo, right?
Bro said, let's get to the meat of the chapter. We've been talking about the meat of the chapter for 30 minutes.
No. Because like I was talking about Gojo's. You know what, man? Let's talk about. I had this thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
really?
And hear me out, right? This might be me being, reading into it a little bit, but I think it's solid, right? Let me give you my facts, okay?
Okay.
So, I think Gojo's been training like an animal the last month, right? Like nonstop, like putting in work every single day, right? And I think Sukuna hasn't at all. Like, I think getting the fingers is the training. That is the upgrade for him, right?
Sure.
Which implies to me, had they fought then and there, it probably would have been like a draw.
Absolutely not.
You don't think so?
Gojo is folding that dumbass. At least at 15 fingers.
With Megami's body.
Yeah. Yep. Gojo's. I don't know how. Don't ask me how. I'm not gonna explain how because I don't know. Like
the reason it can't be. The reason it can't be is because he would have just killed him right there.
Well, I don't think. I mean, so let me. I don't think it's gonna be low diff, but I don't think Gojo is going to scrap with Sukuna and Kenjaku simultaneously.
Like if Gojo
I think
Gojo's not an idiot, right? He knows Sukuna's upgrade is the more fingers, right? Like everybody knows that. So to me, it's like Gojo's making the calculus that he can do a better job with a month of training to like fight 20 finger Sukuna than he can out of the box against 15 finger Meguna.
I mean, I don't think so. I think he wants to prepare his students more than he needs to prepare himself. Personally.
It looks like he was preparing. Like, do you not think he was training? Because, like, bro, he came out mean.
But like, okay, so I'll just ask you this: what to you, right? Like, it's fine if he was training, right?
Mm-hmm.
What to you makes you think that he was training, and then what to you makes you think that Gojo even can get 5 fingers worth of strength more right now, right? Like, what is Gojo doing now that he hasn't been doing since he evolved in the first place?
Honestly, Gojo's biggest weakness is probably his oh god, I can't believe what it says. It's probably his compassion. I think the big test for him is going to be to turn off whatever failure or like whatever was defective with him when he got sealed, right? Like, because the second he saw the prison realm, didn't even really flinch, right? It was only like after he saw Geto that like that weakness revealed itself, right? But that was a one and done, sure. However, I think the learning experience, the thing that Go just had to like marinate on for however long he's been in the box, is trying to make it so something like that doesn't happen again. So whatever form that takes, ideally, if I had to put like a bet or like a name to it, it would probably be a focus on barriers and strengthening his own barrier techniques or anti-barrier techniques. But yeah, that's my like thing, right? I also think generally maybe his hand-to-hand, like there's areas that I think Gojo needs to improve on, because the issue that I've always had with Gojo versus Sukuna, like after the Meguna thing, is that Sukuna now has too much variety at his disposal and enough power for it to matter against Gojo, right? Now he has the 10 Shadows, right? He has Maharaga, and we saw how easily Maharaga was able to hand a defeat to a special great sorcerer's domain, because I think yours was special. You know what I mean? And it reads to me like, hey man, maybe a little bit of training, you know, like to combat the Megami factor.
Possibly. Yeah, I mean, to me, Gojo just gives you the implication of somebody who has already taken the steps to max out his abilities. But that's just how I feel about it. I think so. To me, Gojo's weakness was being alone. That to me, his weakness is something. I agree, it's mindset. But I think his weakness is actually the opposite. Like being going up against like sort of like unintentionally disregarding his own ideals, I think is what got him sealed. And not even what just got him sealed, what got him sealed for so long, right?
Mm.
Because and the reason I say that, right, is like Gojo's always been about, students, we got to do it together type of thing, right? And I'll just put it like this. That shit is not happening if Yuta's there. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
That makes sense? So it's like, the thing I've heard to combat is like Gojo's strongest when he's alone. And I'm like, hey, bro, we heard that. Gojo got sealed. Like,
yeah.
bro had no allies and was fucking packed up.
Which is why I say maybe that getting rid of that particular weakness is the only thing holding Gojo back, because I don't think it's necessarily an incorrect statement that Gojo is the strongest when he's alone, because his power is very it requires him to not have somebody else to think about while he's fighting, right? Like open space. That's why he was able, like, the curses didn't instantly die in Shibuya, was because they were able to stay his hand with all the humans, right? So I think it's not a flaw in Gojo's ability. It's more so they exploited the flaw in a very specific, very calculated way that isn't A, easily replicable, and B, something that I don't think he would let happen again, right? So it's like, if he just removes the weakness of fighting like that, then what reason would he have not to?
So here's the thing, right?
Like aside from narrative,
so
right?
Well, I mean, aside from narrative, when talking about characters, is just kind of like a crazy fucking discussion.
Oh, I thought because I thought you meant it purely on like a strategic, like meathead. Okay, yeah, include whatever you want.
So I mean like this. So there's a couple of different avenues, right? One, there are still people in the Culling games, right? There's still like human beings, and you just have to question if you think how willing Gojo is to sacrifice them. If you think he's like completely disregarded that, maybe, sure. But I think Gojo's weakness is his students, right? His weakness, right, is that Gojo cannot work with other people, right?
Yeah,
I don't
weak. Yeah.
So right. So I think if you're talking about training, right, and if you're talking about if you want to assuage that weakness, you need to make sure your students are strong enough to. They don't have to be stronger than you. Make sure when they fight with you, they are helpful, right? Because we don't know what that threshold is, right? We've never really seen that. Like, yeah, sure, Gojo's strongest when he's alone, right? Cool. When is he ever Sure, he was stronger alone than when he was like trying to protect Yuji versus Jogo. Sure, cool, right? A lot of the times when Gojo's fighting, he has to fight reserved with like fucking Gakuganji is like some collateral damage or some bullshit, right? Or he has to hold back. Cool, whatever. But like, to me, it seems like if you want to eliminate that weakness for Gojo, you have to make sure that his students are strong enough to fight alongside him and help him out. That's to me how it feels, right? Like most of the victories that the good guys get, right? Most of the ones I'll say at least that matter come from someone getting fucking jumped. Like it comes from a team effort, right? Like you look at the most triumphant moments in the series, right? And a lot of the times in one way or another, multiple people were heavily involved in that, right? I mean, the biggest one I can think of, like the one that I think has like just the most impact as a fight is like Yuji's like victory over Mahito. It's just like that was such a fucking collective effort from Todo and Nobara, right? That you can't say Yuji would ever be able to do, at least then, right? He would not have been able to do that on his own, right? You look at Gojo getting sealed. Yeah. You look at Gojo getting sealed, right? That was a collective effort to take him down, right? You combined your efforts to do it. Cool, right? You look at Yuki losing to Kenjaku, right? Guess what? Yuki was fucking exposed because like, Chose was like, oh no, I can't fight with you. I'll slow you down, right? They fought on their own individually, and then when they did fight together, they were both so fatigued and injured that it didn't really matter, right? But like you look at the victories, Hanami gets folded. Why? because who's on the battlefield? It's Yuji and Todo, right? A lot of these victories come from a team effort, and I think Gojo's ideals can't be met if his students aren't strong enough to reach them too. To me, that's his greatest weakness.
Mm-hmm. Okay, how do you then reconcile this with the necessary requirements it takes to be a calamity or get stronger in the JJK verse, which is just slated to be like a selfish sense of aggression, right?
I mean, who's saying that? Uro? Is that what you're talking about? I mean, the burning everything around you, blah 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 blah.
It's because Sukuna basically confirms it, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll say that, right? It's like this, right? Think about it in blue up terms, right? Your ego can exist without it only being to score goals. Does that make sense, right? Your ego does not have to, like, Sukuna's ego, Sukuna's fucking, like, calamity ship, is for indiscriminately tearing everything and destroying everything around him. Cool, right? That's what he's focused on solely. To me, Gojo can just be like, I'm solely focused on raising up the people around me.
So you think it's an extension of, like, the interpretation of your technique type thing?
Yeah, I think it would be, I think, like, that evolution, that, like, sort of enlightenment, because, like, even if you look at, like, Buddhism, right, and the enlightenment, you all have the same end goal, but the way in which you get to it is going to vary wildly depending on who you are, right? So, like, I think one thing I've kind of thought is, like, if Sukuna is kind of like someone, or you look at Yuji and Mahito, right? Mahito said, cool, you are me, right? We're the same, right? You just like me for real.
Right.
But guess what? Yuji didn't start killing people. The way they're the same is in which Yuji indiscriminately saves people and Mahito indiscriminately kills people for his own joy, and Yuji saves people for his own satisfaction, right? That is how they're the same. But they're now, but Yuji triumphed because he realized, you know what, you're right? We do have the same mindset. I have to acknowledge that, and I have to lean into it, right? But that doesn't mean he has to be like Mahito personality wise.
True.
It just means he has to accept that it's me. I'm going to do what I need to do mindset above all else, right? Fuck what your dreams are, fuck what your goals are, right? My goal is to save everybody. Right, okay. Yeah. My goal is to save, and if Gojo's is like, my goal is, right, to raise the next generation, right? To make sure that they're strong. Sure, that's less violent than Sukuna's, but that doesn't mean it's any less of an honored one mindset, so if that makes sense.
Does that evolve him into a calamity, or does that kind of calamity level get distributed between his students, right? Because the end result is you have to commit to this ideal, but like, for a reason, right? There is a goal, like, there is a tangible prize to be get when pursuing this, right? For Sukuna, presumably it's, the 4 arms, the 2 faces, and like the crazy shit he was able to do, right? For Gojo, if we take this to mean you want it to be like his students that get this benefit, then it's like,
so he's already grown from having this mindset. He's already grown from having this mindset. What I'm saying is, like, Gojo necessarily is stronger for having that mindset. So you think it
makes him personally stronger?
I think it does both. It makes him personally stronger, and it develops the people around him.
How is this?
The reason I think it makes him stronger, right, is because he needs to be strong enough to be around to teach them, right? It requires, in order to raise that next generation, he has to be alive for that, right? That's the big thing, right? So in a world with Sukunas, in a world with, like, special grades that are completely unregistered, like, that are evolving at the rate of, like, Mahito or Dagon or Jogo or Hanami, right? Gojo needs to be so powerful that no matter what, he can guide his students down the path, and they just need to focus on growing and being themselves, right? It's like there's a strength requirement to being what Gojo is, right? There's a strength requirement to being able to, because, like, not many people can just be like, here, Yuji, I'm going to show you firsthand what a domain expansion looks like, and I'm going to show you what a domain clash looks like, right? The reason I say Gojo gets stronger is because he has to be strong enough to be in those scenarios, right? He has to be strong enough to where, like, listen, I'm here, right? I'm here to teach you what you need to be taught with no concern, right? If I need you to see what a domain clash looks like, motherfucker, I will go to the strongest special grade in the world and show you what a domain clash looks like. You don't ever need to worry. I don't ever need to worry. Why? Because I'm Gojo. That's why he needs to be stronger. That's why he needs to be able to confront those things, because he basically needs to be there to teach them. And to be there to teach them in such a dangerous world, you need a certain level of power, right? In the same way Sukuna needs a certain level of strength to destroy everything and kill everyone around him, Gojo needs a certain level of strength to protect his students and be alive to teach them in such a dangerous world.
All right. Well spoken. I don't.
Appreciate it. Appreciate
Dude,
it.
I don't know. That was a mic drop speech if I've ever heard one.
Hey, bro, listen. Yeah. Anybody needs some agendas push? You can't just PayPal me $5. I do this on the side. No, but speaking of $5,
$5. Oh shit.
yeah, yeah. Listen, bro. Like I might just be a master at transitions.
Bro,
Central Harding.
Bro, I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say that like, oh my god, I think I was gonna say it at the same time you did. That's crazy. Same
Yeah,
wording
bro.
and everything. That's you and
Yeah,
me,
bro.
man.
Well, what can I say, man? What can I say? Central Harding, thank you for the
Five.
five.
Yeah.
Most frustrating thing Kubo did is not showing Ichigo in the 8 Stern Readers, because it could have also showed us Ichigo's newfound powers and maybe new abilities.
I'm more. I'd get it if it was the Bankai. You know, you'd want to see what
Yeah.
his true Bankai can do. Especially because getting it destroyed twice is crazy.
Nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It makes
I
me
mean,
wonder if it would have like been more effort of Kubo to show it than not show it.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, Ichigo's main ability is just always, excuse me, been Big Blast.
Yeah, I imagine it would have been something different though.
Yeah.
Um,
So
yeah,
yeah,
just because U-Haul was super fucking scared.
yeah.
I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick, bear back.
That is on my Bleach bucket list. You know,
Mm.
seeing Ichigo's. You can go.
Okay.
Seeing Ichigo's Bankai. I'd also like kind of. If we're talking about like shit in Bleach that I'd still like to see, honestly, Ichigo's true Bankai, Ichigo. Oh my god. Aizen getting unsealed. Crazy to phrase it that way, considering everything that's happening right now in JJK. But not even like just to run his ones with Soul Society again, but just to see like where he's at with the world right now, kind of an extension on this Hell arc. And actually, speaking of the Hell arc, I hope we get to see Ukitake's Bankai, because it is wild that Kubo was able to go the entire series without showing it, despite the fact that there were multiple opportunities to do so, and also despite the fact that Ukitake was kind of unceremoniously taken out of the action in Arrancar, which in my opinion is wild, considering he and Shunsui were supposed to be, you know, gods of the battlefield. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff in Bleach that I think I still want to see. Hollow Fight Tensen Zangetsu. Funny that it's like 2 Bleach things in a row, technically. Thank you for the 2. Code Geass, happy emoji, thinking emoji, neutral emoji, mad emoji, exhale emoji, and curse emoji. I love it, but can't express it. Man, if BR heard that about Code Geass, he'd be so happy. Let's see. I mean, Gojo has no reason to be strong. He just is. He became the strongest before his students ever came into the picture. They gave him purpose afterwards, though. Spit, spit, spit. Hello, please stop trying to set me up, all right? You're such an instigator, bro. You know... Oh, man, you came in a great time. You should read Hello's most recent chat.
Let's see. What? Creams now the beers were... Jesus. Yeah,
Dude,
bro, don't do
wasted
that.
no time. That's wild.
Yeah, nah. Anywho,
I think that's it for this chapter. Let me just
Yeah.
see if we missed anything. Oh, yeah, I guess the big question. Sorry, small thing, then the big question, right?
You go a little quickly though, because I need to wrap up. I need to wrap up in a little bit.
Yeah, no problem. Higuruma being there, seeing this kind of panel is just very ominous vibes all around, and it gave me the impression that I don't know, man. Like I want. I am very excited to see how the fight goes, but I'm really curious what Gege is gonna do with Chozo, with Takaba, with Higuruma. If they're all gonna like gang up on Kenjaku, and if you think like how do you think the thing is being split, right? Because it's like Team A, like the Sukuna team is Gojo, you know, the big 3, right, with Yuta, Maki, and Hakari, and maybe some support. But you think that's too much, or do you think some of these people need to go like and fight Kenjaku together? Like, how do you think this is getting divided?
I think some of them are going to fight Kenjaku together. I think the big thing is, I mean, I think Yuji's going to be in the Sukuna Force personally. I think he just has a grudge with him. And I think Yuta, Maki, Hakari are probably going to be the ones we need to really keep an eye on. I can maybe see Kurara being with Hakari just because they seem to roll together. And then all the other ones that we didn't see, like Gojo in the back, maybe being for the Kenjaku hit squad. I could see something like that. I mean, Kusakabe is basically the anti-Kenjaku, so I think we're good.
Okay. I guess we'll see because Kenjaku's still stronger than all the people in this picture. In this panel, you know, the Chozo Tagawa panel at the end. So
yeah, bro, any trying to talk about might get you killed.
yeah, it's crazy. You can if he thinks it's funny, but like, yeah, I'm curious how they divvy up the teams there. If they draw straws or some shit. Also, this is quick. The Sukuna making up for a finger with his old body is crazy.
Nasty business. Yeah.
Yeah. Does that mean there's technically 21 Sukuna effigies or whatever? Yeah.
Potentially, yeah.
Crazy stuff. I wonder if there's a trade-off because, or maybe it was a secret.
Yeah.
I'd get it though. 21 is an odd number, especially because he has like 20 fingers, so it's a good mislead if that's the case.
Yeah.
Anyway, the last thing. This is the big thing, and then we're gonna close out. Who you got?
Already said I don't think Gojo's gonna beat Sukuna 1v1, but I think Gojo's ideals will prevail. So Sukuna will die. I don't necessarily think Gojo will die, but I don't think Gojo is necessarily going to beat him in a 1v1 battle. If he does beat him, it's going to be with the help of other people explicitly in that fight. So I guess the simple way to put it is Sukuna wins the 1v1, Sukuna wins the battle, Gojo wins the war type of deal.
Okay. I think I agree with it, but I lean more towards a fuck. Am I really this much of a doomer, dude? Fucking hell.
Yes.
I was gonna say I think I lean more on like Sukuna eking out a victory, just to have, you know, the next generation kind of take up the mantle of putting him down to kind of, like, I agree with you, but I think the methods are going to be different.
Yeah. Okay. For sure.
I think it's going to be like after the fact, after Gojo loses to Sukuna, it's going to be like, all right, well, we'll step in for you, you know, master or sensei. Yeah. Alexander does stuff. Thank you for the 5. Honestly, the B3, the big 3 jumping Kenjaku has to be enough like anymore. Especially Kashimo's just overkill at that point. Oh yeah. Where the fuck is Kashimo?
What is going to be one of those? We already talked about this. Is going to be one of those. It's going to be one of the things we get covered in flashbacks.
Yeah,
it's like get covered in retrospect or whatever.
Or he's like an ace or something. I don't know. Because it seems like it does seem like overkill to send Kashimo over there with Gojo and Yuta and Hakari and Maki there. So yeah, I guess we'll see. Okay. I think that's it for this episode. Thank you guys for coming out. Great chapter, fun chapter, controversial slightly. And we can't wait to see what Gege does next. Have a good one, guys. Thank you for coming out. Like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.